On a bright and sunny day in the Okanagan, only one game stands in the spotlight at the 2015 Young Stars Classic, and it just so happens to be the Battle of Alberta. Both teams coming off of wins in their openers. Calgary handing Winnipeg a 3-1 defeat, while Edmonton opened up the offensive floodgates in a rough and tumble 8-2 outcome against Vancouver. Now, for more on tonight's matchup, we sent it up to the booth to an Edmonton guy and a Calgary guy who, despite their respective cities, share no animosity between them. Gene Principe and Pat Steinberg. Take it away, fellas.
Welcome into the South Okanagan Event Center in Penticton, British Columbia, and I guess you could say for a lot of people, maybe one of the circled dates of the 2015 Young Stars Classic. For the first time, the Battle of Alberta. Pat Steinberg from Calgary, Gene Principe from Edmonton.
You want to go?
Working together.
I don't think it'd go too well for me.
I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, I know. But if I upset you, I think the only upsetting we're going to see tonight is what's on the ice. Tom touched on the fact the Edmonton Oilers had a, crackerjack of a game against the Vancouver Canucks. A lot of it had to do with Jake Virtanen, and we'll talk about that throughout part of the night because of who he hit and the result of him not being in the lineup tonight. But as for the Calgary Flames, they come here with the largest roster, which tells me they had a lot of players, Pat, that they wanted to have a look at. And there are some players that are depth players, both at the minor league level, at A or ECHL. And then there's players that you think will play in the NHL. And certainly Sam Bennett has been there, done that. He plays back-to-back games, but there's so many names up there the Flames fans will want to see tonight, some for a first time, to see where they kind of fit on the Flames tree.
Well, I know a lot of people very excited about one of the gentlemen playing his first game of this Young Stars Classic. That's on the blue line. Kenny Morrison didn't play last night. He was signed out of Western Michigan near the end of last season, played for Andy Murray, the former NHL head coach at Western Michigan. And a lot of people, a lot of Flames fans hoping, thinking that maybe he can knock on the door for an NHL spot come training camp. And then, of course, in net, well, the Oilers and the Jets, we saw some kind of swapping of goaltenders yesterday. The Flames went the whole way with John Gilly, so tonight it's Mason McDonald who's getting the start in net. He'll go the whole way, we think, for the Flames, and for the second-round pick in 2014. Lots is expected from this young man, especially after attending World Junior Camp this summer. So the Flames have got their players to watch. I know the main player to watch for the Oilers not playing tonight, but there's still Connor McDavid's going to take a seat.
McDavid, yes.
But there's some pretty decent players to watch for the Oilers tonight, too.
Yeah, and Connor's okay, by the way. It has nothing to do with the Jake Virtanen.
Nor does it have to do with performance.
No. A goal and an assist. He's a healthy scratch only because that was the plan. You mentioned some players to watch, and I tell you what, a lot of Oiler fans are getting pretty pumped up about this kid on defense, Darnell Nurse. When the Edmonton Oilers made that run in 2006, a lot of it was on the back of Chris Pronger. I'm not suggesting he will be Chris Pronger, but he does have some of those attributes. Tall, lanky, can be mean, can be feisty as he was after Jake Virtanen hit Connor McDavid. After this hit by Dane Fox, there he is again, helping out a teammate. Chris Pronger also had a mix of offense. Darnell Nurse with a power play goal last night. And then there's Leon Draisaitl as well, as he is someone the Edmonton Oilers are hoping can develop into, what you expect from a third overall pick in 2014. A goal and an assist, showed a little bit of physical play as well. He's a big guy. He had a successful run with the Kelowna Rockets, about a 45-minute drive from Penticton, one of 4 Oilers last night that had a multi-point game, and it's sometimes because of McDavid. The fact that Draisaitl's a centerman who might play wing, you don't forget about him, but it's all Connor all the time. But let's not disperse the fact that Leon Draisaitl should be an important part of the Edmonton Oilers' future.
Both teams making their way onto the ice as we get set for the first round of the Battle of Alberta 2015-2016, and the only time these two teams will meet here at the Young Stars Classic. The Oilers with a huge win over Vancouver to open their tournament yesterday. The Flames took a 3-1 win over the Winnipeg Jets to open their tournament. And I'll tell you what, Gino, what we saw in that game between Vancouver and Edmonton, that was a rather intense, heated affair, and I think that there's some potential we might see that again tonight, too.
Yeah, well, and again, the place is packed as it was last night. I mean, whether you're in BC, whether you're in Nunavut, it doesn't matter where you are. When it's the Battle of Alberta, you want to be mixed in and plugged in. A smattering of boos when the Calgary Flames are announced, and I think it has to do with the fact that the Edmonton Oilers have We talked about him already, Connor McDavid. We may talk more about Connor than any other player who's not playing, but that's because he is who he is with the Flames, who have themselves a really vibrant organization, have done things right. You talked about Morrison, who came over and had a little bit of AHL experience last year. I mean, listen, Calgary's doing it the way you need to do it. The Edmonton Oilers are trying to get where Calgary is. One team's in the playoffs, wants to win a cup. One team needs to get into the playoffs so that they can win a cup. Sam Bennett, joking this morning, goes, I don't think I've ever played against the Edmonton Oilers in any way, shape, or form. That will change tonight as he plays in back-to-back games.
Well, and it was you who asked him that question this morning about whether or not he's played in the Battle of Alberta.
Well, I didn't know, and then when he didn't know, I felt a little bit better about me not knowing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a first for Sam Bennett, and there's plenty of talent to watch on the ice tonight. Sam Bennett leads the Flames. Darnell Nurse and Leon Draisaitl, of course, leading the Edmonton Oilers. We get our festivities officially underway now with our Canadian national anthem and then the puck drop from Penticton. So about ready to go for our Young Stars Classic edition of the Battle of Alberta. Mason McDonald gets the start in net for the Flames, a 2014 second-round pick. Played all of last season with Charlottetown in the QMJHL. Looks like he'll go the whole way tonight. And it's Jordan Paperny, who's got some CHL experience of his own on the other side. The Brandon Wheat Kings product led the Western Hockey League with 44 wins last year. He'll get the start in net for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, the Oilers, just like Calgary, have 3 netminders here. Vancouver, for example, only has 2. Last night, the Oilers split their duties in net. We'll see what happens this evening. There's Leon, and there's Sam, and let's go, Pat.
Hopefully, that's a face-off we see plenty of times in the future for the big league Battle of Alberta. We're underway, and Darnell Nurse has the puck behind the Oilers' net as we are underway from Penticton. Joey Lelegia pairing Darnell Nurse on the back end, and he's got the puck now and will bring it out. That pass misses Slepyshev and goes in on McDonald. And there's Bryce Van Brabant, who scored Calgary's first goal in yesterday's 3-1 win over the Winnipeg Jets. Emile Poirier floats a shot on Paperny, steered aside easily, and a little bit of a battle on the right-hand side boards. The Oilers will come away with the puck, and there's Joey Lelegia.
Yeah, a little bit of stuff going on the bench there, Emile Poirier and Greg Chase. So already less than a minute in, some of that starting to happen between the two teams.
McDonald's first save is a shot from Lelegia, and not a surprise that it would be Greg Chase and Emile Poirier, the two that would be chirping at one another. There's Mangiapane behind the net, the 5th-round pick of the Flames in this year's draft, and Ben Betker goes back for the Oilers to pick it up behind his net as Edmonton tries to settle things down. So we're just over a minute into our Young Stars Classic edition of the Battle of Alberta as the Oilers bring the puck into Calgary territory. Cole Lineker in the corner. The pass goes out in front. There's a shot from Waugh that's stopped by McDonald. Got him in the helmet. And the first good opportunity of the night comes from the Oilers.
Nice job by Mason McDonald there. Taking one off the mask and having to deal with a couple of chances. Good start for him.
Yeah. Marco Waugh with the first real high-quality shot of this game, and McDonald's going to freeze that puck with Platzer coming in on him and a face-off in the offensive zone.
Well, Mason McDonald, I mean, I will say this, Pat, and I was checking his mask to make sure everything is where it should be, including his head and his face. That, I mean, talk about getting into a game, and then he's able to kind of regroup real quick in regards to making a rebound stop off Josh Winquist. As Winquist, kind of a late addition to the lineup. Originally, Mitch Mraz was supposed to play. Mitch had a very physical night last night. He's not in the lineup, so Winquist is. But I think whether you're a Flames fan or any kind of fan, the goalie situation and area is a very intriguing one for Calgary.
Off a face-off win by the Oilers, they'll try and generate a little bit more as Platzer fights with Karnikov for the puck in behind the net. Agostino on the half boards will try and chip it to the middle, and Calgary will be able to come out. There's the Calgary Hitman product. Karnikov on the left side with Hunter Smith up front. The puck into the corner where Colton Waltz has it for the Oilers. He loses it as Calgary regains in the right corner. There's the second-round pick from this year's draft. Rasmus Anderson's shot blocked in front, but it comes to Agostino in the slot. He wires one, and Paperny, welcome to the game. He makes a big stop and a big hit in the corner as well, as Edmonton will be able to skate the puck out.
Kenny Agostino, today you asked him Ken or Kenny, and he said, if you don't mind,
Kenny.
let's keep it Kenny.
Well, it's confusing. On one website it says Kenneth, on the other it says Ken, so I asked him, what is it? I prefer Kenny, so we'll go with Kenny Agostino.
It's funny, we usually do that with last names because we're not sure of pronunciations, but with him it was the first name.
He's no longer on the ice. The Flames are, and they're working for it on the boards right now, but unable to pop up with it were the Flames. And another Brandon Wheat King product, Bucharts was the one able to get it out. Bucharts goes to chase it down. Darnell Nurse looking to tee up a shot on one side. Decides not to. Goes to Lelegia, who fires a wrist shot on, and Mason McDonald squeezes the pads for the stop.
Well, in last night's game on the part of the Edmonton Oilers did a nice job in front of their goaltenders. Eetu Laurikainen and Kevin Bouchard were in net, and there's some good help there. Eventually they do get a chance, and Paperny, who went undrafted in his 2 draft years as a 19-year-old, a lot of times goaltenders are not chosen, but after the success of Martin Jones, who you know well is a former Calgary Hitman, being undrafted, you never know where the next Martin Jones might show up, and the Oilers are thinking maybe, just maybe, it might be Jordan Paperny.
The Latvian product, Rihards Bucharts, is able to watch that puck go by his stick. Marco Waugh fighting for it as well. Waugh, rather, fighting for it. He's unable to come up with it, but Calgary quickly out to the neutral zone, and right back in go the Oilers into Calgary territory. Van Braben. And now Sam Bennett winds up with it in the neutral zone with a little bit of a burst of speed. Unable to do anything with it, though, and now it comes loose for Mangiapane, and he wires a shot just wide. The rebound right off the end boards, and having to be sharp there was Paperny once again. The puck squirts to Greg Chase, and he'll lead the Oilers with numbers down the other way. Chase looking for Draisaitl, who will go and chase in the corner. So Greg Chase, formerly of the Calgary Hitmen, now with the Victoria Royals, looking for a pass out in front. Is trying to feed him with Slepyshev, but very, very alert was the goaltender McDonald to make sure that didn't get through.
Yeah, chances at both ends, Pat. How can you not like a guy whose name translates to eat bread? I love it. Mangiapane nearly munges a goal there. And he was impressive last night in his debut with the Calgary Flames. The Oilers a little sloppy in their own zone, only beaten twice for goals last night. We'll have to make sure they are a little tidier. But Mangiapane, what a shot.
Right
real
now,
quick.
Some nice work by these Oilers top line with Chase, Slepyshev, and Draisaitl working a nice little cycle. That's Chase with the puck right now behind the net for the Flames. Leaves off for the skilled Slepyshev, and Draisaitl's in there as well. That's Mangiapane for the Flames. Nice job from him to leave it for Kenny Morrison, who will flip it down the ice. Giving chase is Austin Carroll. Just finished his 20-year-old season with Victoria in the Western Hockey League, battling for it in the corner. Also in there is Bill Arnold for the Flames. But coming away with it for Edmonton is Ben Betker, the big defenseman, will skid it out of his own end. Betker flips to the middle and trying to knock it down was Waugh. Kanzig steps up on him, and the puck goes back into Oilers territory, and Betker's got it again. He moves ahead to Winquist, and now in the neutral zone, the Oilers will look for possession once again as Waugh pops it behind the Calgary net. Anderson back for Calgary. That's Rasmus Anderson and Kenny Agostino will chip to the middle, but nobody there for it. Now Karnikov follows up. Here's big Hunter Smith. You remember Hunter Smith from last year?
Just a little bit. Wow, and he is, I mean, it's one thing to be big when you're standing beside him, but oh, Josh Winquist just understands how big he is.
There he is again. Just as we're talking about him, he lays a big hit in the Calgary end. Puck comes loose to Waugh again in the slot. He takes a shot. The rebound in front, and unable to get to it was Winquist, but some more good opportunities for Edmonton as they try to open the scoring here. We've almost hit the 6-minute mark of the first period. Here's Colton Waltz back in. Long shot, pad save by McDonald, and Waltz follows up, battling with Anderson. Also in there for Edmonton is Cole Sanford, and now Connor Rankin. One of 3 members of the Calgary Hitmen in this game tonight. Jones on the left side of the line will put it back in behind the net. And Lomberg goes for it for Calgary. He scored a goal last night, and he gets it loose. Pushing it ahead is Taylor Burke, and now in there for it for Calgary is Marcotte. There's a long shot that is stopped by Paperny. A rebound was lying there. Another shot comes from the right point, and Fram took it. So Calgary gets a few shots there, but nothing really dangerous, and Paperny's able to steer those all away. Another big hit as Lomberg comes in and takes a shot. So physical stuff and some scoring opportunities. Lomberg scored a goal last night, takes another shot, and this time Paperny's going to hold on, and we'll see if we get some rough stuff behind the net.
Well, you know, in our opening, we showed Darnell Nurse and coming to the aid of Connor McDavid after he was hit by Jake Virtanen, as well as another teammate. I mean, he's just got this edge, and sometimes the players have it, but you don't see it. He appears to have it all the time, as shown here with the huge hit. But the Calgary Flames, despite the fact they have yet to score, have had some glorious opportunities, and Edmonton as well with one. As the puck comes out front, Marco Roy just kind of has a little bit of trouble handling it on the first chance, and then gets a second opportunity.
Calgary's top line out there against the Nurse pairing, and it's going to be the Oilers who come away with it. It was Braden Christopher who opened the scoring last night for the Edmonton Oilers with a pretty goal. Had it for a second in the neutral zone, and now it's back into Edmonton territory with Nurse corralling it in front of his own net. That's Soy fighting for it in the right corner in Calgary territory. Christopher's in there as well, and coming away with it is Lineker. Betker moves to the other point. Tip shot just goes wide. As Edmonton continues to look for this first goal, but Calgary away with numbers. Bennett in the neutral zone. Spun away from one check, and now a fight for it right in front of that Calgary bench. There's Betker again, and now Kevin Davis on the ice. Finds Draisaitl with some nice moves to the neutral zone, but he's cut off by Manjapan, and now Carroll into Edmonton territory. He moves towards the net, unable to get a shot away, but bowls into Paperny as Draisaitl settles things down and slowly and softly pushes it up the left side board. Slepyshev in there for Edmonton with Carroll and Morrison for Calgary. Chase away with it for Edmonton. And now Jones to the neutral zone. Speedy defender, leaves off for Draisaitl. There's Chase on the one-timer, just fanned. Now Jones on the left side half boards. Bank pass, and Draisaitl's got it now. Draisaitl's pass cut off, and puck comes out to the neutral zone once again. Long shot in on Mason McDonald, and he'll slow things down.
You mentioned Jones a couple of times for fans watching. Caleb Jones, younger brother of Seth Jones, who was drafted this past summer in Fort Lauderdale.
Another big hit. This time it was Agostino dumped for the Flames as Winquist has it for Edmonton and softly puts it into the other corner as the Oilers give chase. Pass out in front to Nurse, and a nice shoulder stop by McDonald as Nurse with another quality opportunity. Here's Lelegia now off the point. Anderson watches him. Nurse calling for it at the left point, and he's got it. Didn't have a shot, so scoops in behind the net, and there for it is Lineker. Edmonton's Cole Lineker and Marco Waugh in there for it as well. Lineker has possession. Anderson and Waugh fight for it in the corner. Kanzig uses his long reach to knock down that puck, and Calgary will get it out as Karnikov leads the rush. He's got Smith and Anderson with him. Anderson's got it. His shot stopped by Paperny. as the Edmonton goaltender comes out to challenge and makes a very nice stop on the Flames defenseman Rasmus Andersson.
Well, the opportunities continue for both teams and at both ends as Kenny Agostino goes over a few things with the officials. Darnell Nurse, who did score last night and has had some offensive success with Sault Ste. Marie, 41 and 50-point seasons, and Rasmus Andersson with a shot. And Jordan Paperny coming out to make the save. We've got two young goaltenders, two different backgrounds, one a high draft pick, one undrafted, but both doing their jobs right now.
Now an opportunity for Connor Rankin in on net. His backhand chance stopped by McDonald, and Rankin dumped into the end boards after that scoring opportunity. So Edmonton with a number of quality scoring opportunities. We approach the halfway mark here in this first period, still scoreless. Calgary's Culkin tried to center it out in front, but nobody was there for it. Calgary keeps the puck in Edmonton territory, but only momentarily, as it's out to neutral ice once again, and Calgary into their own end with Morrison on it. Platzer right back in for Edmonton. Went off a glove, though, on the Calgary bench, and that'll give us a stoppage of play. Shots are 9-6 in favor of the Flames. This game is scoreless as we continue from the Sport Check Young Stars Classic in Penticton.
Ask yourself, are you doing enough? Because right now, somebody else is doing more. They're pushing harder, putting in more hours. And it's starting to pay off. You may not know them, but they know you, and they're coming. So the next time you go down, will you stay down, make an excuse, let them have your spot? Will you pack it in, go do something else? Or will you get back up? And get to work. Ask yourself, are you...
Well, it was certainly an eventful opening night in an Edmonton Oilers jersey for Connor McDavid. Jake Virtanen made sure the temperature of the game was up right off the bat. Best chance early for Connor to get his first goal. He does get his first assist on the helper to Darnell Nurse, and then it kind of ping-pongs around, and McDavid didn't really react too much to the fact that he had his first goal as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. And there he is. There's Mitch Moroz. Even when he's not playing, Mitch Moroz has got his back just in case. There's Ethan Bear, and there is Connor McDavid, who the plan always was to only play 2 of 3 games. And if people are thinking that's something new, that's the way the Edmonton Oilers have taken on this Young Stars Classic tournament. Right from the inaugural one, Holland Eberle with a pair of games, Nugent Hopkins in 2011. Oscar Clefbaum and 2 guys who are playing tonight that also played last year, also 2 games. So there was not some concern, but when you see a guy get hit, you wonder if overnight something doesn't feel right. Connor McDavid is fine. He did have a little welt under his left eye, but he said he got that from a glove. And I've never seen so many questions about one hit last night, as everyone was trying to dissect the hit, and he just kind of said, it's hockey, and we're like, oh yeah, right.
It did get a bunch of people out of their seats, I'll say that much here at the Young Stars Classic in Penticton. This Battle of Alberta is scoreless. He's Gene Principe, I'm Pat Steinberg, as we've got 9.5 to go in period number 1 with the Oilers on it in their own end. Braden Christopher, as we mentioned, opened the scoring in yesterday's game with Vancouver. Now the puck ahead to Richards Bucharts on the half boards. Bucharts finds a teammate in the corner, now out in front, and McDonald had to be sharp once again. Here's Soy. Back at the point for Jones, as already mentioned, the brother is Seth Jones of the Nashville Predators, and both sons of former NBAer Popeye Jones. The shot just goes wide of McDonald, and Calgary will try to shovel it out of their own end, but won't be able to do so. Now we'll get it past their own blue line and out to neutral ice. There's a long shot from Lomberg from the half boards, and Paperny will glove that down, and we'll get another whistle.
You know, we're talking about Caleb Jones as the Edmonton Oilers. Ethan Bear was a 5th-round pick in the draft. Jones was a 4th-round pick, and as Jordan Paperny continues to be solid in making 10 stops in the Calgary Flames. You talked about Popeye Jones, 6'11", Caleb is just a shade over 6 foot. Seth is 6'4". Usually you kind of get to the height of your father, but most of us don't have fathers that are 6'11", so it's a little different.
It's tough to top dad who's 6'11". It seems like it's kind of gone downhill though through the generations as we get a puck that goes out of play.
And I have seen Caleb's mom because Seth lived with her his first season with Nashville, and she's normal size. Sam Bennett, I got to tell you, I'm having not trouble, but I keep thinking 63 and not 93. And Draisaitl, Pat, 2 players, natural centermen, but something maybe more likely to make their NHL teams as wingers. So they're fighting to make their clubs, Sam, a little farther ahead than Leon. And then once they get there, what position will they play? Sam playing center again for a second straight night.
Here come the Oilers with numbers the other way. Bennett's on the back check with Slepichev passing out in front. Nurse is up on the rush as well, and Nurse has got it in the corner. The 2013 first-round pick of the Oilers, working with Keegan Kanzig. And now Van Brabant and Chase will battle for it in the corner for Calgary. Chase puts it around the end boards, and Calgary will have a little bit of time for Bennett to bank it off the boards and down the ice. Bennett wearing 93 as opposed to 63 in the playoffs because of the gentleman that he looked up to and the gentleman who happened to be his general manager in Kingston of the OHL, a guy that people will know very well, and Doug Gilmour.
Yeah, well, Doug Gilmour, I tell you, one of those great playoff performers who could give you offense, could give you defense. And Sam, I mean, considering where he was 12 months ago here, but, you know, not really physically able to do what he can do and has proven he can do. And an interesting kid who this morning was first asked, hey, you think Connor McDavid is ducking? He's like, nah, I don't think so. But the two of them are good friends. Of course, who needs enemies when you have friends? Because McDavid's good friend is Jake Virtanen, and we know how that turned out.
Yeah, that did not work. Although McDavid got the nice little tap on the bum from Virtanen after that hit, and that kind of got everybody laughing. It was a pretty good way to start that game. Betker up on it for Edmonton, finds Winquist in behind the net, and there's Marco Waugh, who's had a couple of good opportunities here for Edmonton. Lineker's up there as well. Mangiapane with the puck on the one side for Calgary, but it's put it right back in behind the net. And now Fram will go battle for it with Waugh. Winquist in there as well. He takes a hit from Bill Arnold, and a loose puck will be gobbled up by Calgary. They will get it to the neutral zone and try and bring it into offensive territory. The very skilled Mangiapane with a shot. Nice pad stop from Paperny. Mangiapane had 105 points with the Barrie Colts of the OHL last year. Winquist will go chase now for Edmonton as Calgary goes through a line change, so a little bit more ice out there, but right back to the forecheck of the Flames, making life difficult for Betker to get it out of his own end. Eventually, the Oilers will do so, and the Flames regroup back in their own end. Mangiapane again. And now Connor Rankin with it. Rankin works around Fram. Nice move by Rankin. He rips a shot, but McDonald gave him a little bit and then took it away. Connor Rankin had a heck of a year last year with the Calgary Hitmen and showed you why with that shot on Mason McDonald.
You know, right now, Mason McDonald, I mean, this is a glorious chance and a great shot. McDonald just goes, I got it. No problem. Take care. Face off to the right of me. I mean, he looks really comfortable to start this game as the Oilers don't have as many shots, but have had maybe almost as many quality chances as the Flames.
Really nice play by Rankin, too, to walk around Jason Fram as big Hunter Smith puts it into offensive territory. At 18 points in 21 games for the Oshawa Generals en route to a Memorial Cup championship this year. He's out there right now, as is Pavel Karnikov. Karnikov feeds in front to Smith, and he scores. And the Flames will open the scoring tonight. Hunter Smith, Johnny on the spot to make it 1-0.
Well, Pavel Karnikov, that was really a nice play on his part. The Edmonton Oilers got just a little bit mixed up, lost a stick, and they found themselves one defenseman short of being able to corral the 2-on-1. Kornikov works his way in here. There goes the stick, and suddenly Hunter Smith, it's pretty hard to miss him, but he finds himself in all alone. Jordan Paperny really no opportunity to make that stop, and so the MasterCard Memorial Cup winner starts our scoring tonight for Calgary.
Such exponential jump Smith has taken over the last 3 years, from being an occasional scorer to now a regular one in the Ontario Hockey League, and still working on his skating and his mobility, but that big body's still there, and we saw it on that first goal.
Well, 6'7", 225, we've seen some really large defensemen, i.e. Zdeno Chara, but there aren't a lot of forwards that big who can maybe do a few things like he can.
That's Marcotte, one of the tryout players for Calgary, with a shot from just inside the blue line, and Paperny will corral that as we now have just over 5.5 to go here in Penticton. The Flames with the opening goal of this Young Stars Classic edition of the Battle of Alberta.
Jordan Paperny, who played for the Southside Athletic Club in Edmonton, one of his teammates, a first-round pick this past summer, former teammates, that being Jake DeBrusk, and he also went to a development camp with Montreal. Favorite goalie is, well, lately is Carey Price, and did you meet him? No, but he gave me a tap on the pad, so almost just as good.
It's basically like meeting him, as Emile Poirier takes a bad angle shot. Paperny led the Western Hockey League with 44 wins, 6th in goals against and save percentage, and still has 2 years of eligibility. He'll be back for his 19-year-old season next year, so looks like things could be looking up for Jordan Paperny.
Well, actually, in fact, he said this morning, Pat, that Calgary also called him.
Now Sam Bennett with an opportunity as he moves towards the net. Following up was Emile Poirier, and he just missed. So some more good opportunities for Calgary, and now the other way come the Edmonton Oilers. Slepyshev puts it deep, and a penalty called. We have our first one of the game, and it looks like it's going to the Flames.
And it'll be Sam Bennett, who now is involved with Greg Chase. And now, see, Greg Chase has got himself a penalty for no reason here. Or has he just told him to move away? Oh, no, he did get a penalty. I'm not sure he knows, though. He's gone over to the bench. While we sort that out, here is Bennett coming in off the wing, and you like to see that. And then the follow-up opportunity for Emile Poirier is the Flames coming strong and coming close to scoring a second goal. And while Bennett is there, Greg Chase, this will not make the Oilers happy. It won't make his dad, Kyle, happy either, because the Edmonton Oilers had a power play, and in fact, Sam Bennett was just kind of headed to the penalty box. Chase started to chat him up, and next thing you know, he got sent to the penalty box. And Chase is continuing to talk. I haven't seen it. I don't know if this is a build-up from something else. I don't think anything's happened tonight anyways, but Greg not short on verbiage right now.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Bennett.
I had the opportunity to host a Hitman Town Hall once, and to a man, former teammates, he was traded last year to Victoria, but said the best talker and the chirpiest of the Calgary Hitmen was Greg Chase. He knows how to get under somebody's skin. No doubt about that. Is Calgary with another opportunity, and this time it's Arnold and Mangiapane who hook up on a goal. Mangiapane puts it past Paperny, and a nice passing play has Calgary up 2-0.
How can you not like Mangiapane? Manja, he's got a goal. He got a point last night in his debut with the Calgary Flames. I mean, he's another one of those kids that is a teenager, but looks like he just became a teenager. And what a great setup by Bill Arnold against Joey Leleja and Darnell Nurse, which tonight are the #1 pairing. Mangiapane just screaming in on goal, and Leleja sees him but can't quite tie up his stick. So Jordan Paperny beaten for a second time, and the Flames up a couple late in this opening period.
Able to get it 4-on-4 to make it 2-0. Bennett and Chase in the penalty box, and Mangiapane with the first goal of his Young Stars Classic. So we continue playing 4-on-4 as Karnikov, who set up the first goal, leaves off for his Calgary Hitman teammate Keegan Kanzig, and now Rasmus Anderson's got it in behind the net for the Flames. He's watched by Winquist. And now Anderson will use some good mobility to skate it and pass it out. Karnikov on the right-hand side. Lots of ice out there, 4-on-4. Pass in front to Kenny Agostino, goes off the heel of his stick, and now Edmonton back with it. But pressured very quickly and intently was Winquist. He had to spin away, and now Lelegia with a burst of speed has Draisaitl in with him. Lelegia tried to take the shot, went off of Ryan Culkin, and now Calgary with numbers 2-on-1. The pass ahead from Agostino just misses Arnold. And so Arnold's going to go chase in behind the Edmonton net. At the point, Fram. Now Culkin's one-time shot, just a little offline. Agostino pushed by Slepyshev, stays on the puck as they battle for it there, and Slepyshev will find Draisaitl. He's pushed off it by Fram. Edmonton will be able to calm things down and get it out, and sneaking behind the D was Slepyshev and just missed a breakaway pass. So he'll battle now with Culkin in the corner. Draisaitl there to help out. 12 seconds to go, 4-on-4. Waltz, and now Draisaitl. He's taken immediately by Fram, and Draisaitl pushed around a little bit. Karnikov gets it out, and now he is able to find Mangiapane in the neutral zone. He comes in and using a screen, takes a shot. Use Jones as that screen, and Paperny makes the stop. So some end-to-end action, 4-on-4 here, Gino.
Very good end-to-end action by both teams, and both clubs' defense, especially in that 4-on-4 scenario, really jumping into the play.
Now a shot from the point will be gobbled up by Mason McDonald. Taking that shot was Ben Betker. That's the 8th shot of this game for the Oilers. They've been outshot 17-8.
You know, I was talking about the Flames goalie situation. They have no shortage of them, but it's not like when they had Mika Kiprusoff where, you know, the door was locked, it's him, it's 60, 70 nights a year, where now it's wide open, both at the NHL level on who might be the guy, and that might change as well, depending on hot streaks or cold streaks. And then with the departure of Laurent Brossoit, there's also more openings as well for Mason McDonald at the AHL level at some point. So it's interesting to see the Flames, who've got an incredible blue line, are building their forwards, and now they're getting themselves settled in net.
Soy will stand in for the face-off, and a little bit of a contested one. We'll see the puck go out of play. Just over 2 minutes to go now in the first period.
Well, you know, this morning I did something with Peter Labardius, obviously a friend of Fan 960, and he was talking about McDonald maybe last year being a bit of an overwhelming experience. Coming in, I picked, a lot expected of you, and that his maturation process has really helped him develop to the point where maybe everything is going a little bit slower this year, and after watching him to this point, he looks very good.
There's two big boys for Edmonton and Calgary. Betker and Smith battle for a puck behind the net. Calgary's able to find that loose puck, and there's a shot in front from Burke. He got it in the slot, but it goes off of a skate of Betker, and Edmonton will be able to get it out to neutral ice. Soy stepped up on by Morrison, and the speedy defender's able to break up a breakout pass. Here's Christopher on the backhand who will get into Calgary territory, but only momentarily. Smith misses a pass that's going to go all the way down the ice, and icing. Hunter Smith opened the scoring this evening with his first of the tournament. Still 2-0 Calgary with the play coming back the other way.
There's a look at Darnell Nurse. He was asked this morning, how did he find out he was captain? He goes, I just walked in and the C was on my jersey. So no need to argue. A good selection, but kind of caught him off guard.
Long shot from Connor Rankin doesn't find its way through. So looking forward for Edmonton is Cole Sanford. There's Rankin with an opportunity in front. Another good stop by McDonald. Not sure if he even saw that one, but he got a pad on it, and Hunter Smith will backhand it into Edmonton territory. So the Oilers have come very close in this game, but haven't been able to beat Mason McDonald to this point.
Well, John Gillies was so good last night, and so that kind of sets the bar right off the hop of the tournament. When Gillies only allows the one goal, has a stellar night against the Winnipeg Jets. Now you're the second one to come in, and you've already seen that there's a great competition, so you don't want to be the one to sort of let your aspirations down. It is only one game. Jerry Fleming, who's running the bench on the part of the Edmonton Oilers, took over from Todd Nelson after Todd Nelson was promoted to the National Hockey League. Jerry spent a lot of his development in the ECHL, 7 seasons with the Florida franchise, twice got to the final.
And now getting his opportunity in an NHL organization, and with the Edmonton Oilers, they'll be moving their AHL affiliate to California this year as Sam Bennett has an opportunity, passes out in front. Another great chance for Calgary as Emile Poirier is robbed by Jordan Paperny, and some great work from Sam Bennett to make sure that happened.
I mean, Paperny made an excellent stop, but how about Sam Bennett there? Time sits still. He's got the loose puck right in the slot, as the Oilers are guilty of maybe being a little loose with their play. And next thing you know, look, time. I got lots of time. Emile Poirier with the backhand, and Paperny, I mean, that's shot 18, and there's still 39 seconds left on the clock, so 2 goals against on 18 shots. It's not been a bad period for the Edmonton kid.
He's been busy and he's been good. Mason McDonald very good at the other end for Calgary as the Oilers win a face-off and get it out to the neutral zone. Just over 30 seconds to go in period number 1 as Carroll takes a long pass. His shot from the sideboards is steered away by Paperny once again. Mangiapane tried to take a pass in the corner, went off his backhand, so Betker of the Oilers will be able to get it out to neutral ice, but only for a second. Carroll intercepts that. Now to Mangiapane. Back pass to Arnold, just misses with 10 seconds to go now in period number 1. Here's Mangiapane in front, just out of the reach of Bill Arnold in the slot. The Oilers will come away with it, and that'll about do it for period number 1. So the Flames open with a pair of goals, Hunter Smith and then Andrew Mangiapane, very close together, and the Flames have a 2-0 lead and a 19-9 shot edge after 1 period.
Greg Chase smiling, but I'm sure he's not happy with the way the opening 20 minutes went for the Edmonton Oilers, considering how well things went last night against the Vancouver Canucks. The Oilers maybe being pressured a lot with the forecheck of the Flames, leading to some great opportunities. Despite that, Edmonton half as many shots. They had some quality chances as well. Wide open first 20 minutes, but it is the Flames the only ones to be able to score.
Coming up in intermission number 1, we've got plenty to bring to you, some stories from both teams in our live interview in the first intermission. Tom Gazzola is going to talk with Bob Nicholson of the Oilers, so stay tuned for that as the Flames, with 2 goals in the first period, have a 2-0 edge on the Edmonton Oilers. The Sport Check Young Stars Classic comes at you live from the South Okanagan Event Center in Penticton, British Columbia. Greg Chase and the Oilers will look for a little more success in period number 2.
Ask yourself, are you doing enough? Because right now, somebody else is doing more. They're pushing harder, putting in more hours. And it's starting to pay off. You may not know them, but they know you, and they're coming. So the next time you go down, will you stay down, make an excuse, let them have your spot? Will you pack it in, go do something else? Or will you get back up? And get to work.
So, family's all here?
Yeah, they're here. My dad is here. My mom. I think when you guys called my name, my dad went to the toilet. So.
Oh no!
Yeah.
We welcome you back inside the South Okanagan Event Center. We also apologize for the technical difficulties, but we're back and we're good to go, and we're joined by the CEO of Oilers Entertainment Group, Bob Nicholson. Bob, after 1 period of play, Calgary Flames rookies had a pretty good period, leading 2-0, outshooting the Oilers 19-9. Just how would you assess what you saw in that first period?
You know what, Calgary were real good. They had a real good jump. They were beating us to pucks. You know, we got to get quicker and get it in on our forecheck.
Barn burner of a game yesterday. I think it's safe to say, against the Canucks rookies, a lot of goal scoring, but a lot of physical play. What did you make of that one too, to set the tone for this tournament?
I thought it was a great way to start the tournament. There was a lot of intensity in all 3 periods. You know, we certainly showed some real good skill in scoring some great goals, but the intensity level of the whole game was exactly what you want to see with the young guns here.
Does this feel like you're back in your backyard and you're just having some fun here because you're a Penticton guy. You grew up here.
Yeah, you know what? It's always great to come back to Penticton. This is where I grew up, played minor hockey, junior hockey, and so many great memories.
How about the tournament itself? I know you were part of the Oilers last year, but you take over as CEO this year. What do you make of this setup in the tournament and how the city kind of buys in here?
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't out here last year, and so this is the first time that I'm really getting a real close-up look at what's going on. And it's a really good evaluation of our young players, but it's also excellent opportunity for us to look at each of the other teams and see what they have. So, it's been here and has run very well in Penticton in the last number of years, and I'm sure we'll keep this type of format going.
Quickly, have you had a chance to have some fun around here, catch up with old friends or even new friends and do anything fun?
Well, the most important thing, Kevin Lowe and myself won at the golf game today. We weren't that great, but we were good enough to win, so that was good.
Perfect. That's all that matters. Okay, Bob, it's almost time now for management to pull up the bootstraps and get going. This is the unofficial start to the hockey season. What have you made of the new management team and the new coaching staff you've brought in thus far? It's very early, but what have you noticed about the new staff that's taken over this team?
I really like what Peter Shirelli has done with the management group. I think their roles are really clear. And Todd McClellan has had all the coaches in here for a couple of weeks. And I think the key right now is making sure that, the coaches within the Oilers are on the same page, but also we want to make sure that, we're working with the Bakerfield coaches and everyone knows the type of style of play that we want to do so that players, when they do come up to the Oilers from the American Hockey League, there's not a huge adjustment in the style of play, and we're getting close to that on the same page, but we still got a lot of work to do.
It certainly is a process. Peter Shirelli's discussed that. Todd McClellan has said that. In terms of going forward here, there's a lot of hype with this team, understandably. How are you kind of looking at that and approaching that? Are you tempering expectations? Are you buying in full force to the hype? How are you kind of looking at that? That's a good problem to have, but what's your take on that?
What, Tom, that's a great question, and really it's about building a strong foundation, and we're really evaluating all the players, all the staff, and we want to make sure that we put the right pieces in the places, not for 1 year, but for many years to come, and we just want this team to be a lot more competitive. The fans in Edmonton deserve that, and as we move forward, we're not going to rush this. We're going to make sure that we move in the right direction and put the right pieces in place.
Speaking of moving forward, Bob, you also look after the business side of things. You oversee a lot as well as hockey. The new arena's coming into play. We're saying goodbye to Rexall Place this year. How are things progressing with the new building, and what can fans expect to see at Rexall Place?
First of all, this final year in Rexall will be a great year. We've had so many great memories, and we're going to be honoring so many of the alumni that had Stanley Cups, raising the Stanley Cup, and so many great goals. And then looking at going into Rogers Place. This is something special. It's the best arena in the world. We're going to build out the best ice district. So it's going to be a place for great hockey games, but it's going to be much more than that. So much entertainment and other activities for everyone in Edmonton and in Alberta.
Bob, certainly very exciting times in oil country. We thank you for your time. Look forward to seeing what unfolds this season.
You know what, Tom, it's going to be a great year, and you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. Bob Nicholson, CEO of Oilers Entertainment Group.
Hello and welcome to Flames TV on top of the world, on top of Sulphur Mountain in the heart of the Rockies. Prospect Camp has been going on all week, but the guys have one final test. It was quoted that the average person would climb this mountain in around 2 hours. These guys clocking it up in just under an hour. We're gonna check in with them, see how they're holding up.
Yeah, you know what? It's about an hour hike, but it's kind of worth it, especially for kids from Ontario. We don't get to get up here a whole lot, so for us, it's pretty exciting.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like one with nature up here. Beautiful view of Banff and great people, so it was a good time.
Now, who was leading who up the hill?
Well, I had all this stuff in my backpack, and the deal was I'd take it up halfway and he'd take it up the other half, but I guess he was just too far behind, so I had the whole time. So
it's the first time I've been up here, and it almost looks, it doesn't even look real, really.
After the 2 ice times today, my legs are burning a little bit on the way up, but it's nice once you get up here.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, either way you look, wherever you go, 360, it's unbelievable.
I mean, final goal if I did end up earning a spot on the team, to have this, like you said, in the backyard would be unreal.
This is John Gilly signing off from Banff.
It's a very, very compact design because we were building this thing on a postage stamp in essence. Congested downtown land. We only had so much of it, but it's a very, very efficient, compact design.
There it almost was. Gone.
Finding that other teams are starting to pay attention to how we're designing this.
Yeah.
They're wanting information, and of course, it becomes an exercise where.
So they try and take stuff out of this, and
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to steal our good ideas,
Yeah.
just as we stole good ideas from elsewhere. And
well, this is going to be hard to top.
this will be hard to top.
And this is all going to be ready by next year?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, but when you look at what we've got right now, bear in mind that we didn't break ground until March of last year.
So this is level 2. There's 5 levels.
Jesus. This is going to be crazy.
We're now on the main concourse.
How many people work here, like, combined, like, every single worker?
On the site, there'll be about 500 construction workers at any point in time inside the arena, and then tons more out in the district.
How many cranes are working just in the district?
Well, there's 25 going in the downtown. We've got 2 inside the bowl here. You can see that we've got another 2 in the plaza, another 2 over here.
Pretty cool. Seems really big, but it's nice.
As the teams come back on the ice here at the Young Stars Classic, Pat Steinberg and Gene Principe along with you. 2-0, Gino. The Flames lead the Oilers after 20.
Yeah, we featured Darnell Nurse, who continues to play very physical on the part of the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, we talked about Mason McDonald, and Nurse close to getting his second goal of the tournament as he was flying in quite comfortably. But boy, Mason McDonald, Connor Rankin with a great chance. And Mason McDonald, whether it's standing, whether it's pad stacked, he's been incredible. Hunter Smith, the 6'7" power forward, opens up the scoring on the part of the Edmonton Oilers. And Bill Arnold, lots of talk, of course, about Johnny Hockey, but his former college teammate, sweet pass to Andrew Mangiapane at 5'10". So we've had kind of different extremes when it comes to goal scorers. It has Calgary with 19 shots and 2 goals in the opening period of play. Mangiapane is saying this morning that he was always fast, even in soccer, played some baseball, and once scored 5 goals in a soccer game, so he's a talented guy. So is Sam Bennett, and we look forward to seeing more from Sam in period 2 and 3.
So the Flames with a nice start in period number 1. The Oilers, despite the 9 shots, had a number of other pretty quality scoring opportunities that don't get counted as shots. So fairly even in that first period, and despite the 2 goals, Jordan Paperny strong in net. Mason McDonald, as we already talked about, very strong in net himself for the Flames. As we are underway in period number 2, as those 2 first-round picks for the Oilers back out on the ice, Darnell Nurse and Leon Draisaitl, and that's Nurse wearing the captain with it right now, and Slepyshev follows up on the puck, and eventually Nurse will get to it in the neutral zone. Pass across, misses Joey Lelegia, so he's got to use Nurse as the safety valve, and now Draisaitl takes it on his backhand into Calgary territory. Draisaitl, nice feed to Slepyshev. He tries the pass to Chase out in front. That just misses. Now at the point, Nurse tees up a shot, just misses wide, and Calgary will take the rebound off the end boards. Fram, under pressure, gives it away. Draisaitl shot just over top of the net, off the end glass, and down the ice, but the Oilers out with a mission in period number 2.
Yeah, and you want to see your top players get that mission going. And how about Leon Draisaitl on that first shift in less than a minute, wreaking havoc on the Flames? No goal, but what a great way to start period number 2 for Edmonton.
Flames have got a tag up on the offside, so that allows the Oilers a little bit of an easier time out of their own zone. Nurse misses his man, and so now a puck battle in behind Mason McDonald in that Calgary net. Pinching off the point is Edmonton's Kevin Davis, and now at the point, a pass to Marco Waugh misses, so Davis has got to skate quickly back to retrieve that puck in behind his own goaltender, Paperny. Now Winquist chips off the boards, and Fram recovers for the Flames in the neutral zone. There's Ryan Culkin. It's been a few years since he's been drafted. 3rd time at this Young Stars Classic for Culkin. Is a little bit of a heart attack for Paperny there as it took a bad bounce off the end boards, but he makes the safe play and covers up.
Yeah, a little bit of an adventure for Paperny, who well, he'll have some not so good memories of the Okanagan Valley. It wasn't that long ago, 45 minutes down the road, facing Kelowna. Brandon, who had an incredible season, but Kelowna, an incredible playoff team, still got that Wheat Kings mask. 16 goals allowed in 4-game sweep, certainly not his fault. At that point, Leon Draisaitl appeared to be on a point in his young junior career where he wasn't going to be stopped, and neither was that team. But Paperny looking to bounce back here after 2 goals allowed in the opening frame.
Penalty coming up on the Flames, and as Fram touches it, a tripping call levied to the Flames, and there's no after the whistle shenanigans. It looks like we might have our first power play of the game.
Yeah, and a great tie-in as we look at the call, because a penalty that turned into 2 penalties as Pavel Karnikov ends up in the penalty box as he's involved on the boards with Kyle Platzer, and then just a little stick on Connor Rankin. And so Edmonton, who did have a power play goal, Darnell Nurse, Edmonton with 5 opportunities in their game yesterday against the Vancouver Canucks. That game, Pat, had a total of 40 penalty minutes, 27 by the Canucks and 13 on the part of the Oilers.
So Edmonton looking for their first goal of this game on the power play, but Lomberg doing a nice job for Calgary, killing that off as he runs Darnell Nurse, and a whistle on the play, and we've got a roughing call the other way, so the power play goes quickly away, and Darnell Nurse is going to take a seat for roughing as the Oilers only got 20 seconds of their first power play of this game.
Well, I think Leon Draisaitl and the rest of the Edmonton Oilers are just kind of trying to figure that one out, because it didn't seem like a lot was going on. Great forecheck, though, on one of the goal scorers yesterday on the part the Calgary Flames, Ryan Lomberg. I mean, a great effort here on Nurse, and I'm going to have to see. Well, I guess Nurse. Not sure. There didn't seem to be a lot there.
That one didn't seem like it needed to be called, but we get some 4-on-4 again, and there's a lot of open ice last time, a lot of back and forth. So we'll see what we get for this next little while. 4-on-4. Very, very close call, but the linesman was right there as Kenny Morrison dragged that puck past the blue line and just offside.
Yeah, speaking of 4-on-4, in the opening period, for those that may have missed it, the Edmonton Oilers were headed to a power play as Sam Bennett had taken a penalty. As we look at this, it is just a little bit outside the blue line, but we'll continue that story in just a second when it comes to 4-on-4 and a real turning point in the opening period.
Oilers win that faceoff, and Platzer has it now in neutral ice for the Oilers. He's pushed off the puck by Brett Kulak, and now the Flames with some speed the other way. Carroll and Arnold into Edmonton territory. Carroll, the puck handler, passes out in front, and Arnold just misses an opportunity. Now numbers the other way for Edmonton. Platzer on the left side has Winquist with him. Platzer passes across. Winquist has the opportunity and scores. He had all day, and Winquist makes no mistake. He wires it upstairs on Mason McDonald, and 4-on-4. The Oilers on the board thanks to that man, Josh Winquist.
How about that shot? Guy here on a tryout who has some AHL aspirations. It was, I guess, a very slow developing play as Kyle Platzer originally tried to get it to Winquist, but look at that. Oh, Mason McDonald has been fantastic for the Flames through the first period or so. But this Winquist shot, I'm not sure he had much of a chance. Colton Waltz also kind of bothering, I guess, McDonald just a little bit on the doorstep there. So the Edmonton Oilers, Pat, coming out in this second period, not happy with the first, set the tone with a good opening shift. And even though their power play was short-lived, they've come out to cut the lead in half.
So Josh Winquist has the 4-on-4 goal for Edmonton. Shouldn't be a surprise that he'd make no mistake in that situation. Winquist 4th in the Western Hockey League last year with 47 goals with the Everett Silvertips. So he gets the Oilers on the board. They look for more. Betker's shot tipped in front by Bucharts, and nice opportunity for Edmonton as they try to answer right after their first goal. But now they're going to have to go to the penalty kill as Sam Bennett keeps his feet moving, and Richards Bucharts is going to have to sit down for 2 or less as he takes a tripping call. So a little bit of time left, 4-on-4, and now because of this penalty, we're going to get some power play time for the Flames.
Special teams becoming a bit more of a factor, and there is Bennett. Well, it almost looked like he lost a bit of an edge. I mean, Bucharts did have his stick in and around the midsection, so I don't know if it's a combination of the stick and the edge, but either way, it turns into a power play on the part of the Calgary Flames. The Flames 0 for 4 yesterday, and man, it looks like nobody's on the ice. Look, there's so much space, 4-on-3.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a little bit of this in overtime in the National Hockey League this year with some 4-on-3 power plays. We'll see a lot of them. We'll play 4-on-3 for the next 20 or so seconds. So Anderson has it at the point. He's playing with Culkin. This is Bill Arnold, passes across, and Mangiapane just misses. Culkin hustles to keep that puck in. 10 seconds to go, 4-on-3. Mangiapane and Arnold working for it. Oilers with a chance to clear, and they will. So in just a second, Karnikov's going to step out of the penalty box, and now we're going to get some 5-on-3 for 20 seconds for Calgary. Here's Arnold. Anderson's got it, so a lot of manpower for Calgary. Slap shot, Culkin stopped by Paperny. Anderson on the rebound. He and Culkin manning the points. Anderson fakes a shot, passes across. Arnold takes a shot and scores again all day for the shooter, and Bill Arnold outweighs Paperny, and he's got his first of the Young Stars Classic. A power play goal makes it 3-1 Calgary.
Bill Arnold with an assist in the opening period, and when we look at the replay here, it almost looked like he was more interested in getting his second assist. Rasmus Andersson with a great pass, and you watch Arnold, it looks like he's going to pass, and then he sees Paperny's kind of lost his edge in the goal crease, and he had, I would say, at least 2/3 of the net to shoot and score. And so Bill Arnold, who came back this year and has spoken about the fact he wants to be a little bit more, of a leader, well, that's a pretty good way to lead. We're 25 minutes into the hockey game. He's got a goal and an assist. He's been involved in 2/3 of the goals on the part of the Flames.
The Flames still on the power play for the next 60 seconds as well as Paperny holds on. Bill Arnold played his first full year of professional hockey in the American Hockey League this past year. 61 games he got in with Adirondack, and now it is second Young Stars Classic, as you mentioned.
Well, he said something interesting, because sometimes you get to these short tournaments and everyone's just thrown together and you wonder, well, how can you be a leader? And he said, you can be a leader by being the first one involved when it comes to drills and just doing everything the coaches ask.
Paperny makes a nice stop, and the Flames still on the power play. And Kulak took that shot, so another face-off in the Oilers zone.
I mean, everyone's thrown together. It doesn't matter if it's Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, or Vancouver, and so the coaches generally will try and keep things a little bit simpler. Ryan Huska discussing that this morning on the fact that after Calgary defeated Winnipeg last night, thank you, Pat, he stayed around to watch the Oilers, so he would have a first-hand look at what he would face this evening. Plus, he said he wanted to watch Connor McDavid. I had to get that in. I'm a little under my Connor McDavid mention.
Yeah, if we're going over under 75.5, we're not on pace here. So
no, we're well behind.
Yeah, we need to get our Connor McDavid
2,000 times last night.
Is he a big story here? Another giveaway in the Oilers zone, and the Flames continue on with the power play. So the Oilers had a chance to clear. Will that come back to bite them? Shot coming. Kulak wires it, and it goes hard off the end glass as it went wide. But Kulak had all day again and teed off a Howardson. Now here's Morrison in behind his own net in his first game of the Young Stars Classic. Finds Karnikov, and now Agostino rushing down the left side. He'll go wide and in behind the net. Agostino still with it, and he's muscled off the puck, and there's Darnell Nurse on it. 18 seconds to go on this power play. Nurse gets it deep, and that'll kill off a good chunk of what's remaining. Just over 10 seconds to go now on this power play. Agostino takes it at center, and will try and wind things up. So Calgary scores once on that power play, and now Kulak into offensive territory as the Oilers are back to 5-on-5 and back to full strength. Poirier in on it for Calgary. Soy back for it for Edmonton. He's pushed around a little bit by Karnikov, so Soy turns back, goes in behind the net, and now Waltz will try and move it out of his own end. He'll chip, can't clear. Poirier gets it. He's got Van Brabant with him. Pass to Bryce Van Brabant doesn't work. Nice move by Poirier to feed Culkin at the point. He's looking for a tip on that shot. Bennett on the rebound. He goes in behind the net and can't get a shot away, but this top line for Calgary exerting some pressure right now. Culkin keeps it in. Here's Bennett, the 2014 4th overall pick. Now Culkin. His pass too hard for Burke, and so the Oilers get an opportunity to clear. Can Bucharts do so? Not yet. Still kept in by Calgary. Now it's out, and Bucharts will bring it into offensive territory. He's got help and a player going towards the net, but the pass doesn't work, and so some end-to-end. Here comes Lomberg with Bennett. Sam Bennett shot just off a skate and wide. Another opportunity for Calgary's top prospect, and now good stick there from Edmonton will get that puck out of play.
Well, we talked about the fact that 4-on-4 has been important so far tonight. In the first period, Sam Bennett took a penalty and was headed to the penalty box. And Greg Chase eventually, as Bennett got a little bit of a hook there on Chase. And so Chase spoke to him, ended up in the penalty box. Score was 1-0. The Oilers, instead of having a power play, ended up 4-on-4, and this was the result. So Greg Chase, I love him. He's an energetic kid. You talked about the fact he can chirp. He's friendly. He's outgoing. I like a lot about him. The one thing the Oilers said to him is you have to cut back on your penalty minutes, and he's done that. But the lessons continue to be learned for these young kids.
Absolutely. Craig Chase absolutely was one of my favorite members of the Calgary.
Yeah, how can you not like the kid? I mean, unless you're playing against him,
yes,
then you might not
don't
like
him
him,
when you're playing against him. But good hockey player. I really think the Oilers got a real strong value pick in the 7th round with Craig Chase. Lomberg in on it for the Flames. He's trying to earn his way into an NHL organization. He'll go back to the point, and Kanzig's shot goes wide. Kind of took a weird ricochet off of a Oiler player. Oilers can't clear. Now they will with Draisaitl on it for Edmonton. Nice pass ahead. Here's the aforementioned Chase, and he's robbed by McDonald on that blocker stop. Now Draisaitl battling with Kanzig, couple Western Hockey League foes. Now Caleb Jones from the point. His shot blocked. Nice job by Carroll to step up on that and block it. Nurse in the neutral zone for Edmonton. Slepyshev was calling for it, looked for Chase instead, missed him. Icing on the Oilers as Edmonton trying to rebound after falling back down by 2.
Leon Draisaitl had a 105-point season for the Prince Albert Raiders, and it is amazing. I don't know if I've seen a player be that effective with his backhand passes at this level as Leon Draisaitl is. In fact, sometimes there's a belief that he defers too much to his backhand, but I mean, people can't make that pass forehand, and he makes it backhand very easily. Very impressive. And Greg Chase, who we spoke about, who's got a mix of many talents, almost gets the Oilers within 1.
Edmonton continuing to push. Draisaitl and co still out there, but the Flames the other way. You can hear Kulak calling for it as the trailer. From the slot, he fires just wide. Another opportunity for Kulak. He's had a couple quality ones here in the second period, and this one misses again. Jones couldn't keep the puck, and so Austin Carroll gets it back for Calgary, and they keep the pressure on. Draisaitl on the back check a little bit, is able to cut off a pass, and now Edmonton will bring it out into offensive territory. We've seen Nurse very active offensively throughout this tournament. He's up there on the rush once again. Winquist, the goal scorer for Edmonton. At the blue line, Lelegia keeps. He'll fire from the point through a maze of bodies. Somehow McDonald's able to find it and deflect it out of play with 11 and a half to go.
Well, Josh Winquist scored a fantastic goal, and I thought maybe Brett Kulak might do the same. What a great call by Kulak about 30 seconds ago to get that opportunity. And Andrew Mangiapane, who was impressive last night, has been impressive again tonight with a nice setup waiting for him. But Jordan Paperny making a great stop to make sure it's only a 2-goal difference as Calgary continues to add to that shot total. Sitting at 22 right now, nearly midway through the game.
22-13, your shots in favor of the Flames as the Oilers try to draw back within 1. 2 is the largest lead that we've seen in this game as the Flames win the face-off in their own end and will start to make their way out. Jason Fram, now it is second Young Stars Classic for the Flames, but he's still not part of the organization. He coughed it up, though, to Lineker, and now here's Waltz just inside the blue line. His wrist shot goes wide, hard off the end boards, and nobody there to keep it in, so the Flames will be able to bring it out with Anderson and Smith on the rush. Here's Agostino taking a pass. Took it on his backhand, though. Giveaway. Karnikov keeps it in. Now the Oilers get it back out to neutral ice, and Fram, as we mentioned, so 2 development camps for Fram, 2 Young Stars Classics for the Spokane Chiefs defenseman, but still not officially a member of the Flames organization. Seems pretty clear they like him, though, and continue to keep their eye on him. Sanford up on it for Edmonton as he barges his way in. Penalty coming up on Calgary, so the Oilers close to going back to the power play. Here's Davis at the point, through a maze of traffic. That miss, Betker will keep. Nice chip pass ahead. Draisaitl off the bench. His shot off the end glass. It was tipped. Calgary still looking for the puck to freeze it and get that whistle, and finally they will. So the Oilers back to the power play as they're able to force the Flames to take a penalty here.
Yeah, the Oilers haven't had much time on the power play. Their most recent one, as you mentioned earlier, lasted 20 seconds as Darnell Nurse took a roughing penalty. So important for Edmonton now that once they do get the opportunity to get that man advantage, that they do take advantage of it. Keegan, is that Keegan Kanzig? How could I miss him? How could I miss Keegan Kanzig?
He's tough to miss.
Yeah, he's only 6'7" and, well, a lot of pounds.
He's the biggest in terms of that on this Flames team.
What's he at?
Keegan Kanzig is at 245.
Jeez. I mean, put
Not
some
bad,
snow on
eh?
him and you just do some downhill skiing. He is a mountain of a man.
A couple players on this Flames group that could very easily pass for Las Vegas nightclub bouncers. Hunter Smith and Keegan Kanzig. You're not messing with either of those guys.
That's not where they want to end up, by the way.
No, I think they'd like to play in the National Hockey League instead. Oilers trying to set things up on the power play, but Darnell Nurse loses it, so shorthanded. Here come the Flames. Lomberg causes his pursuer to fall, then puts it deep to kill off some more time. He'll continue on the forecheck against Nurse. Nurse will find Braden Christopher, who tries to slow things down, but again, Poirier up on the forecheck, and he gets his stick in there, making life difficult on the Oilers.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with the Flames shorthanded. I mean, they're going after the Oilers hard just to make sure it takes them a while to get into the other zone.
Nice hand-eye there by Draisaitl to knock that down into midair and almost set up a scoring opportunity, but Chase couldn't pull the trigger on a shot. Chase battling forward in the corner. Almost a bad injury situation, and a loose puck for Greg Chase out in front, and he rings it square off the post. Another opportunity for the Oilers to draw within one. Greg Chase has had a couple of golden opportunities here in period number 2.
I really like the way he's responded. We saw at the end of the first, he talked to the referee, discussed what happened. He's come out and tried to make a real positive difference on the part of the Edmonton Oilers. He could have 1, maybe even 2 goals already in period number 2.
Oilers avoid a too many men on the ice penalty there and continue on the power play. Just 15 seconds to go, though, in this man advantage. They've had a couple of opportunities, but very shortly Keegan Kanzig is going to step out of the penalty box.
And yeah, Emile Poirier was the one on that penalty kill as Mason McDonald takes a bit of a breather after the pressure on the part of the Oilers. Clearance just ends up coming right up, Anderson, boom, right up in and around the face. Maybe it went off a little bit of his shield, but he made it to the bench okay, and we hope he is okay.
Popped back up right away, which was good to see as Platzer comes in for Edmonton. Shot blocked, loose puck in front. It's dug up by Edmonton Sanford. Power play is over, so back to 5-on-5. Lelegia finds Platzer. His shot unable to get through. Kept in by Lelegia at the point. He's pressured. Now Platzer, high slot, feeds across. Sanford with an opportunity, closing the pads as McDonald to make that stop. Edmonton still on it though. Lelegia, open man at the point is Betker. His shot's a low, hard one, just misses. Lelegia keeps at the point again. Nice touch pass to Sanford. He's taken immediately though by Kulak, and Kulak does a nice job to close. Now an opportunity for Rankin. He feeds off. There's a shot from Betker that misses. Another power play coming up as Calgary touches. So the Oilers making things happen here and drawing penalties.
You know, in the first period you talked about Sam Bennett moving his feet and leading to a penalty, and I think really that's what the Oilers are doing right now. They're continually moving their feet, more time spent in the Flame zone. and now it's Smith that ends up taking a penalty because of the fact Edmonton just seems to have upped their work rate in period number 2. Connor Rankin with a really nice move, and it ended up still leading to a great scoring chance, but Hunter Smith with the pull, and so Edmonton again another chance, Pat, to cut this lead to 1.
So a power play for the Oilers again around the corner. The Sport Check Young Stars Classic from Penticton continues.
Ask yourself, are you doing enough? Because right now, somebody else is doing more. They're pushing harder, putting in more hours. And it's starting to pay off. You may not know them, but they know you, and they're coming. So the next time you go down, will you stay down, make an excuse, let them have your spot? Will you pack it in, go do something else? Or will you get back up? And get to work.
So the Calgary Flames are the NHL team, and the Calgary Hitmen in the Western Hockey League. A couple of Calgary connections drafted by this team. You see Pavel Karnikov and Keegan Kanzig. For sure, Karnikov will be back with the Hitmen this year, and we'll see about Kanzig. For the first time ever, the Calgary Hitmen having a preseason game at the Scotiabank Saddledome. It's tomorrow against the Oil Kings. And look at those ticket prices,
Holy
hey?
moly. I could buy a section almost. Well,
Yeah.
not quite.
Well, you and the whole family can go, and
Yeah.
not even a $20 bill.
I'm Italian. I need a whole section.
Exactly. So that's tomorrow. There's Pavel Karnikov, a draft pick this year of the Flames. And he's been impressive tonight with a nice pass on Hunter Smith's opening goal.
Yeah, well, and then of course Craig Chase, a former Hitman. There's lots of them. I mean, these are two organizations. that
Connor
really,
Rankin on the Oilers as well, a former member of the Hitmen.
They've taken the approach. I mean, they see these kids a lot. They're right in their backyard. So if you can get a guy you're familiar with and you've seen 20 or 30 times or 40 or maybe more compared to 10 or 11 or 12, why not?
Hunter Smith is in the penalty box for hooking, and the Oilers have got 2 minutes on the power play here as the second period continues from Penticton. He's Gene Principe. My name is Pat Steinberg. This is the Sport Check Young Stars Classic. So what can the Oilers do on the power play this time as Darnell Nurse under pressure isn't able to find a man? So a nice job from Bill Arnold to kill off some time on this power play. Lomberg's up there as well for it, and he's doing it some nice work in killing things off and disrupting for Edmonton. Slepyshev will turn away from a forechecking Bennett. Nice backhand flip pass, finds Draisaitl. And now the Oilers' third overall pick from just over a year ago will wind it up. Gets past center, then loses it to the man who was drafted right after him, Sam Bennett. And the Oilers, the Flames rather, able to clear to the neutral zone. Now Poirier couldn't find Bennett. Now the Oilers will try and bring it in and try and set things up. Here's Chase on the rush. Greg Chase knows he's on the power play, so instead of taking a shot, he'll hold up and start to set things up. Around the boards it goes, but nobody's on that point, and now a 2-on-1 for Calgary. It's Bennett and Poirier. Bennett shoots, and Paperny challenges and makes that stop. So Sam Bennett with another quality opportunity. He's still got it shorthanded. And he will rag the puck and get it right back. Sam Bennett's all over the ice, and another odd man situation. Bennett elects to pass this time, draws a penalty. What didn't Sam Bennett do on that shift? Well, the only thing he didn't do was score, but he's given the Flames a decent opportunity to do so in 31 seconds when they'll have a power play. Darnell Nurse to the penalty box once again.
He still hasn't figured out what the penalty is, Darnell Nurse. He's wondering exactly what happened because it was earlier on that Edmonton had a short power play and Nurse took a penalty, so it's happened again. It's not often you see the same player get two 2-on-1s within the same power play. That was the best of the 2-on-1s. A good save by Jordan Paperny on Bennett. A great penalty killing on the part of the Flames. They've really excelled at that so far tonight.
So we're playing 4-on-4 for the next 15 seconds, and then the Flames will go back to the power play here, leading 3-1 with just over 5 minutes to go in period at number 2. Betker's got some room. Tried to take a wrist shot, but it was challenged. Kanzig to Anderson behind the net for Calgary. Anderson pressured quickly. Now Calgary to the power play as Smith gets it in the neutral zone. He's got Burke with him. Taylor Burke to the slot. He takes a shot and wires it off the post. Burke follows up on it as Calgary now will try and set things up on this power play. Mangiapane already has a goal for Calgary tonight. He's got it in the corner, and Kulak and Anderson manning the points on this man advantage for Calgary. Wide open for Anderson, and the second-round pick from 2015 wires it so hard that it will bounce all the way back out into the neutral zone, and Flames will have to go back and chase. Here's Kulak winding it up. He's had an impressive game and a half or so far for the Flames prospects. The former Vancouver Giant still with it. Kulak behind the net. Spins away, and Arnold in there helping too. Arnold knocked down, and he's slow to get up. Flames still on it. Mangiapane, and there's the speedy Anderson. That's actually Morrison who backhands it in. Here's Kenny Morrison of Western Michigan, now a member of this Flames organization. Morrison again, a little bit of a look in the high slot, passes over to the right point where Kanzig takes a shot, goes off a stick, and out of play. 21 seconds to go on this Flames power play.
Well, it's one of those tournaments that really is a precursor to the main camp. So the last thing any of these teams want to see is one of their players get hurt. And so far tonight, Ryan Culkin is at this point the only player we know of that's had any type of an injury. He sprawls into the end boards, and that happened earlier on. He did have to leave this evening's game against the Edmonton Oilers, and we await his return.
And Culkin last year had his season ended prematurely with a wrist injury. A lot of people thought he might have been able to make his NHL debut. There's a big stop from Mason McDonald as he robs Braden Christopher as the Oilers shorthanded had an opportunity. Now Calgary the other way will try and get their own. The power play's over, so we're back to 5-on-5, but that's a big stop from Mason McDonald on Braden Christopher. Nurse out of the penalty box. His slap shot is stopped by McDonald too. So Mason McDonald hasn't seen a ton of work in the last little while, but when he does, he makes a huge stop, and then another one on Darnell Nurse. Agostino back in for Calgary. There's Hunter Smith up on it. Colton Waltz gives up a few inches on Hunter Smith and tries to push him off the puck. Calgary still on it. Here's Kanzig, keeps it into the point. His shot just goes wide. Draisaitl's on the ice now for Edmonton. He spins away, and Oilers having a heck of a time getting out of their own end. They will eventually do so, though, with Draisaitl coming back into Calgary territory. Slepyshev and Chase both were looking for a puck. Now an opportunity for Poirier. He's got a clean line to the net. Poirier's shot stopped by Paperny, and a smart play as Edmonton slows things down and Paperny covers up.
Oh, what a stop there by Jordan Paperny, because, well, I guess maybe he was watching Mason McDonald, thought if he can do it, I better do it as well. Oh, my goodness. What a stop. And then another one by McDonald. Great saves on the part of the second-round pick for the Calgary Flames as the Oilers were just inches away from narrowing the gap. Boy, McDonald has looked really good tonight. Very comfortable. Seems to know where he is and where he wants to be. Because the Oilers haven't had a ton of chances, but it seems like when they do get one, it's a really good one.
So we have a penalty on the play. So Calgary is killing a penalty once again. Bryce Van Brabant sitting down. An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that we caught after the play. So the Oilers back on the power play. Just under 3 minutes to go in this second period. Oilers trying to come back within one. They can't touch it here. It'll be offside, so that gives Calgary some time to kill off the few more seconds of this power play, and they get it down the ice.
The referee's not putting up with any either late chatter or late sticks or pushes, and that's what happened to the Calgary Flame prospect that has Edmonton on the power play.
So the Oilers will set it up. Lelegia has it at one point. He'll move over to the half boards to Watt. Lelegia's got it back. Shot through traffic, doesn't get through. Platzer goes to it. This is Lineker, and now Lelegia again at the point. Little bit more room. Nice job to free up some space. He shoots and scores. It took a bounce in front, but that's a heck of a play from Lelegia, and a power play goal gets the Oilers back within one. You can make it 3-2.
Well, that was a hard-working power play on the part of the Edmonton Oilers. Everybody seemed to have a hand in it. First of all, to get into the zone, and then to make sure everything was under control. Platzer getting things going along the boards, and Joey Lelegia, boy, he does a nice job of walking along the blue line There's Connor Rankin in front to set the screen. As I mentioned, so many of the Oilers involved to make sure that Mason McDonald in the end couldn't see the shot. Looked like it might have taken a redirect or deflection off someone in front, quite possibly a Flame, or maybe all the way through. But the Edmonton Oilers had a power play goal last night, to have another one tonight, and pat their back in the hockey game.
And the Flames will try and answer back right away as Pavel Karnikov puts one just over top of Paperny. We're under 2 minutes to go now in period number 2 as the Oilers have drawn back within 1, and an icing call coming up on Calgary, so a face-off back in the Flames territory as well. The Oilers have been much better in period number 2.
Well, there's a look at Caleb Jones, one of those young defensemen the Edmonton Oilers are banking on to be part of the future. His own assessment is that he's a little bit maybe more offensive-minded than his brother Seth, but Seth is, well, what a role model to have as an older brother, only by a couple of years, to have already made it a 4th overall pick in the NHL, playing well along the likes of, Shea Weber. So a great role model for the younger Jones.
So the Oilers win the face-off off the icing, and so now back within a goal. Can Edmonton equalize before this period comes to an end? 90 seconds to go as Agostino's on it for Calgary, but his flip pass was not a advised one. He hadn't crossed center yet, so another icing call and no line change for the Flames, and Edmonton will see if they can take advantage.
Well, Joey LaLeggia got a big round of applause, partially because he's with the Oilers, but also he played for Penticton, and 1 year had 52 assists, which led all defensemen in the BCHL when it came to giving out a helping hand. The Oilers love his offensive upside. Smaller defenseman coming out of NCAA hockey, he needs to learn the pro game. And if he can handle himself defensively, he's quite a prospect for Edmonton.
Yeah, Joey LaLeggia spent a few seasons here in the BCHL with the Penticton Vs before heading off to the University of Denver. And now here at the Young Stars Classic with the Edmonton Oilers, has himself a goal, and a big one, to get the Oilers back within 1. They'll try to equalize as Calgary shovels back out to the neutral zone. Nurse there for it, finds Marco Waugh, and he's got a little bit of a burst of speed as he brings it in. Drop pass, and Winquist wires it, and a nice stop there is made by Mason McDonald. In the corner now, the Oilers and Flames battle for it. Fram in there for Calgary. Winquist misses it for Edmonton. Nice chip by Mangiapane. Gets it out to neutral ice. Momentarily, Oilers put it right back in. Under 40 seconds to go in the second period. 3-2 Flames lead. Anderson unable to clear, and now Edmonton right back on it. This is Slepyshev. There's a bit of an edge, and now an opportunity for Calgary to break it out 3-on-2. Austin Carroll.
Slepyshev or Slipyshev?
I was wondering if you might go there, and you did not disappoint. Quick whistle. Paperny was trying to hold on, but Sam Bennett knocked the puck loose momentarily, but they are going to freeze the play.
Well, Slepyshev, a 3rd-round pick, and really has spent his entire career, even though he's just a youngster, overseas. So he's one of those players that certainly the Edmonton Oilers brass would have watched. Not like a Sam Bennett where you see him and he's a 4th overall pick. You know exactly what you're getting. For the young Oiler prospect, the Edmonton Oilers aren't quite sure. He did score a goal yesterday and made an impact on the part of the Oilers. And they're waiting to see what he's able to do now that he's over in North America full time.
They moved the face-off outside the Oilers zone because of the knocking the puck loose. So a neutral zone face-off. Now an opportunity late for Platzer, and another stop by Mason McDonald. So a big chance for Edmonton late in period number 2, and they almost tie this game up as Kyle Platzer got behind the D.
Kyle Platzer had a goal last night. If I remember correctly, he had the last goal of the night on the part of the Edmonton Oilers in an 8-2 victory. Greg Chase, who had a fantastic second period on the part of the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, getting there, then able to do a great job of the backhand pass. And Platzer, if it wasn't for Mason McDonald doing what he's done most of tonight, we'd have a 3-3 hockey game. The Flames were really good in the first, and I thought pretty good in the second. The Oilers weren't very good in the first, and I thought they were really good in the second. So we've got ourselves a good hockey game going here in the old Battle of Alberta, Pat.
And period number 3 should be a good one, Gene. Coming up in the second intermission, Brad Pascal, assistant GM of the Calgary Flames, in conversation with Brad Pascal. Some more storytelling from both teams, and about 17 minutes away from period number 3. The Young Stars Classic in 2015 comes to you from Penticton, and it's brought to you by Sport Check.
Ask yourself, are you doing enough? Because right now, somebody else is doing more. They're pushing harder, putting in more hours. And it's starting to pay off. You may not know them, but they know you, and they're coming. So the next time you go down, will you stay down, make an excuse, let them have your spot? Will you pack it in, go do something else? Or will you get back up? And get to work.
All 4 teams have pretty deep prospect pools, and it should get pretty competitive. I mean, even though maybe you don't win anything, if you win the tournament, there's always going to be pride on the line. It's the first time I get to wear an Edmonton Oilers jersey for real. I think we're going to have a pretty good team. I mean, just having Connor and Leon up front is going to be huge, and I think we're all really excited about what we can do this weekend, and I think we're even more excited just to get on the ice and get things started again.
Paul Ledoux comes to Leleggia, score!
I like to jump up in the play and make my teammates better. I like to help the team break the puck out a little easier, and maybe help the forwards generate a little more offense just by being the 4th forward. I'm just really excited to get back out there in Penticton and put on that jersey. Well, it was definitely a little bit of a learning curve when I first got to Oklahoma last year. It did take a few games to get used to the style of play because it's so different than what it was like in college. Through all that, Tony and Jerry were really good with me. It's always nice to catch up with Jerry Fleming and Tony Borgford, and I was with them in Oklahoma City last year. They're awesome guys, and really says something when you can just go up and have a regular conversation with head coach too, and that's something that I think those two are really good at bringing to the table, and it just helps for the comfort level of all of us.
Away with the puck. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins shoots, scores!
I trained at home. I lived with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Waking up every day and seeing a guy who plays for a team that you want to play for, besides the fact that you're close friends, that makes it that much sweeter. And got pretty competitive in the house with a lot of different things, but overall it was a great summer. We worked hard, and we're happy about it. We like to push each other in the gym, on the golf course, when we're playing video games, pretty much when we're throwing the football in the backyard, pretty much at all times.
We are tied at 2 between now. Here's McDavid, a turnover, and Jetsy scores!
I'm really excited to pass him the puck, I'll tell you that much. He's a pretty special player. That glimpse I saw of him in July, he was pretty special. And I'm pretty happy that I can get ready to pass him the puck this weekend instead of sitting down and saying, okay, how do I stop Connor McDavid playing on a different team? So it's good to be in his corner and on his team.
From the very beginning, had a real focus on making sure that the fan experience of every fan in the building be taken to another level. As much as we talk about it being a hockey arena, it has to be so much more than that. This is an entertainment facility for Northern Alberta, and we have to be sure that this facility is able to morph seamlessly from one event to another, and that it has the capacities to handle all manner of different kinds of events in different kinds of ways.
I think everybody on the job is excited about being on this project. It's a big part of our community. Who in Edmonton isn't at least a sports fan that wants to be involved on a project like this. Having been in Canada a few years now, you understand how important to Canada hockey is and how important the Oilers are to Edmonton.
The job they've done with it looks amazing, and the finished product is going to be really cool to see. I mean, as a player coming into a new situation, that's something that you want.
The design will send a message about Edmonton's creativity and dynamism to the world. Just picture, every time this magnificent design is shown on Hockey Night in Canada broadcast or any other sports television broadcast, what this will say about and do for our city.
We visited over 40 arena, stadiums, entertainment districts with really one goal, is that's just to get inspired and pull the best ideas out of all of them. In Rexall Place, we have 7 price levels. In Rogers Place, there's 38 price levels amongst those same number of seats. We want to get as much variety, and that allows us to have more products that's more specific to different customers.
Effective immediately, the Edmonton Arena District is now Ice District. There's really nothing like this in North America, and you can make an argument anywhere in the world. Both the architecture, the size of the project.
The Ice District itself is $2.5 billion, 25 acres in the middle of the city. And what we've already announced, Edmonton Civic Tower, the Stantec Tower, the casino, the Cineplex, Rogers Place. NHL teams are going to come to this city and go, wow, there hasn't been an NHL rink built like this anywhere in North America.
Welcome back to the Sport Check Intermission. Ryan Leslie along with you. It is 3-2 after 2 for the Calgary Flames leading the Edmonton Oilers. Very pleased to have Brad Pascal, the Assistant General Manager of the Calgary Flames, stop by. And I want to pick your brain about this entire weekend. We appreciate you being here. Let's just talk about those 2 periods that you saw there, and specifically a couple of your players. I thought your goaltender, Mason McDonald, has been real busy, but he's been sharp. Once again, much like Gillies when called upon.
Yeah, we're very pleased with the way Mason's playing tonight. And obviously, as you said, John Gillies played a great game last night. So, this event is all about seeing our prospects and have the opportunity to play in great games here. And to have these guys game experience and playing amongst their peer group, I think it's really special.
Kind of 2 ends of the spectrum. Andrew Mangiapane, about 5'8", he's listed as, and then you got Big Rig Smith, Hunter Smith, 6'7". They both score tonight. They know each other from the Ontario Hockey League days, and both of them making a case. First to the shorter in stature, Mangiapane. Here we are 2 nights in a row talking about this little guy.
No, absolutely, and he was the guy that we talked about at the draft table a lot, and we're very pleased to be able to pick him. And at the end there, we were debating, which guys to pick, and we went with the guy with skill. And obviously, he showed it the last couple of games, the way that he handles the puck, getting pucks to the net. He's a very, very fast skater, and now we're pleased with what he's done here, and he's had a high-scoring junior career, especially last year, and we're expecting some really good things from him.
Understandably, Hunter Smith wants to play a pro game this year. What are your thoughts on him as he continues to make his case to say, no more junior, I want to be in the pros, possibly with Stockton, as early as this year? I mean, what's your overall thought on him? I know you won't tell me where he's going. You still probably don't know yet, but just your evaluation of him as a big man.
Well, he had obviously a great season last year in junior, and to win the Memorial Cup. Anytime you can be part of a championship team, it's very good for your development. So we're pleased. One of the areas he has to work on is his skating, and he's been working hard on that all summer, and we've seen some progress even here in Penticton the last couple of games watching him. So no, he's obviously a very big and imposing figure, and gets the pucks to the net well. He's got a great shot, nice goal today. He's really hard on the puck, and he's another player. Again, you have the opportunity here to see our guys. You see them on the board and up on our depth chart all summer, and now have the opportunity to sit and watch them all together here. It's great and exciting for our organization.
Overall, Brad, this weekend gives you not just an evaluation tool, but just a really good chance to see your players come together, get to know one another, show leadership, and really get in a sense of their identity going forward, doesn't it? I mean, it's a great weekend for you guys as 4 organizations to do that.
Absolutely, and we have a number of our amateur scouts here, so it's really kickoff to the season for us. We get together, spend some time in the boardroom the last couple days, looking at our schedule, talking about our priorities, talking about our evaluation process, making sure that everybody's aware of what our goals and objectives are for the year, and then have those guys see the players that they've drafted. Our player development guys are here. Obviously, we assign them during the season. They have regular contact with them, and it's a good kickoff too for our Stockton coaching staff. A number of these guys will go back to junior hockey, but a number of them will play in the American League and hopefully in the NHL this year too. But the guys that play in the American League gives our coaches the first time to really work with them, get to know them on and off the ice, and I think it's a good kickoff for the season.
The American Hockey League, you touched on it. I know you've been so instrumental on it. So much goes into it as now you're in Stockton. Just some of the key highlights of making this logistical thing all take place and take shape. You've got Ryan Huska, you've got Dominic Pittis on that coaching staff as well, but you're in California now, fewer games, but I assume much more essential for development.
Sure, well, led by Brad Sherlevin, we have a real focus on development, and the American Hockey League to us is developing our young talent and our young players. And being in Stockton in the Pacific Division, we play less games, play 68 games compared to 76 for the rest of the American Hockey League. It gives us more time to practice, more times for off-ice workouts. So we put a lot of concentration on that with our coaching staff. We've added Dominic Pittis, who's in Calgary last year as a skills coach, to the coaching staff to add that player development element. We have a full-time strength and conditioning coach working with our team down there, and we just did a number of renovations to the arena. That added a workout facility there as well, and I think the focus we'll see in the long run, and the focus on development will be hopefully a good production for us.
And great to have Ryan Huska behind the bunch real quick. I mean, he really gets a chance now. He's got some time in behind that American Hockey League bench and a chance to see this.
Another guy that's had good success. He's been a champion as a player in Memorial Cups, and to partner him with Todd Gill, a guy that's played over 1,000 games in the league. We feel it's a good situation and a good coaching staff with a good mix, and they have a number of good experiences to add to the players, and the focus on development, and we feel we have a very good staff.
Real quick, as you look ahead to main camp for the Calgary Flames, what are you focused on specifically now? I know there's a lot that goes into it, but as you get so much closer, what are you working on?
Well, for us here, it's just finalizing which players here will make it to main camp and what players we'll bring forward. And then other than that, it's, now most of the logistics and that are done for our group. It's, as management group, myself, Brad, Craig, and Brian, it's just, waiting, the anticipation. We get to see these guys. We've been excited. Getting to main camp is getting our group together. And then you want to get down to your final roster, and that excitement level is going to build. But it's watching our guys on the ice. As I mentioned, you spend the whole summer looking at our depth charts on the board and wondering where guys are going to fit and create the battles for positions. And we feel again this year we're going to have a number of great battles and good competition. So looking forward to camp is just that. Looking forward to the battles and looking forward to the competition.
In your conversations with Brad Treliving, Craig Conroy, and all of hockey operations, we know the success that you had last year was so good for the process. Real quick, is this just something now that you continue to build on? We've seen the pieces you've added. How do you continue to go forward?
Well, and I think Brad said it. We need everybody to be a little bit better. We need a little bit more out of everybody. I think we made some good strides last year, but we're not sitting here resting. We come to the office every day wondering, hey, what can we do to get better as an organization and as a group? And for us, for our players and our coaches and management, we need a little bit more out of everybody.
Brad, thanks for doing this. Thanks for stopping by. Best of luck, the rest of the way here in Penticton and throughout the season.
Thanks very much.
All right, there he is, Brad Pascal, the Assistant General Manager of the Calgary Flames. Stay with us here on the Sport Check Intermission.
I was thinking during this ride, this may be some of the best cycling in the world. And I trained in France the last couple of years. I trained in New Zealand. It's just a spectacular place to be.
ask yourself, are you doing enough? Because right now, somebody else is doing more. They're pushing harder, putting in more hours. And it's starting to pay off. You may not know them, but they know you, and they're coming. So the next time you go down, will you stay down, make an excuse, let them have your spot? Will you pack it in, go do something else? Or will you get back up? And get to work.
The third period about to start here in Penticton. Flames lead the Oilers 3-2. An eventful second period, and the Oilers get things going with a big goal.
Yeah, Kyle Platzer, one of 2 assists on the period. What a shot by Josh Winquist. And then Bill Arnold, who already had an assist in this hockey game, waiting. 5-on-3, he's got, well, basically speaking, an empty net, and he is able to restore that lead. Mason McDonald strong. 2 of his best saves on the night, 18 in all. But the Oilers keep coming, and late in the period on the power play, Joey Leleja with a shot and the goal. He had 2 assists last night, gets his opening goal in an Oilers uniform. There was also a real late chance by Platzer with some good work by Greg Chase. Mason McDonald made another stop, so the difference is 1-2 as we get set for the next period.
Well, what's really interesting is at the end of that period, there must have been a penalty called, because starting off period number 3, the Oilers are going to be on the power play. Once again, Kenny Morrison is sitting down right now in the penalty box for the Flames. So the Oilers have already scored a power play goal to this point, and now they start on the power play. So Morrison has taken a delay of game penalty. I think that might have happened on that last play of the second period when the puck went out of play, and it just clicked to me now. So the Oilers are on the power play to start period number 3 and look to tie it. Slepyshev from the slot. Great block shot from Lomberg. He jumps up and almost clears it himself, but the Oilers keep it in. Cross seam pass finds Slepyshev. Another pass misses, but Draisaitl goes to find it. Draisaitl to Chase. Slot shot stopped by McDonald as Mason McDonald starts off the third period with a big stop 48 seconds in.
What a great chance for the Edmonton Oilers in a couple of different ways. First off, to get the power play to begin period number 3, and then there's the actual great chance by Greg Chase. We talked earlier, at least I did, about Leon Draisaitl's ability on the backhand pass. There's a great forehand pass that leads to the Chase chance.
So the Oilers still on the power play. They're not going to be able to set up this time, though, because Bill Arnold leads the Flames shorthanded the other way and is doing a nice job of making life difficult for Edmonton. Arnold's still in there, as is Mangiapane. So there's some good work being done by the Flames here, and we've mentioned a few times in this game the nice work the Flames have done on the penalty kill. Arnold keeps it in Edmonton territory. Now the Oilers get it as Paperny slowed it down, and they'll bring it back into the Calgary end. This is Sanford. Holds up on the half boards, finds Lelegia at the point. His shot is blocked. Now a breakaway opportunity as Van Braben comes in. He's tripped up and goes hard into the Edmonton net. So Van Braben had himself a little bit of a breakaway chance, but he couldn't get a good shot away. Tripped up and falls into the net. Bryce Van Braben had a goal yesterday and almost got himself another one here.
And I know there was a penalty shot yesterday as well, as Ryan Lomberg had the opportunity yesterday.
I thought there he kind of just tripped himself.
Yeah,
right?
Leleja plays it well, and then he might have got a piece of him, but there was no pointing to center ice.
Probably a good call by the officials too. They saw it, and good non-call because didn't look like there was a trip there. Good shorthanded opportunity, though, for Calgary to maybe get back up by 2. Less than 30 to go on this Oilers power play as they'll try to equalize still. Draisaitl softly into the corner. Nobody there to chase. Kanzig gets to it. Off the point, Betker's going to activate to keep that in. In behind the net to the corner. Chase out in front. Just misses Slepyshev. Slepyshev rather, Betker. And Nurse on the point. Here's Nurse wearing the captain C. Chase, top of the circle. Draisaitl back to Chase. Slap shot off his stick and out of play. The penalty is over. Morrison steps out of the penalty box.
Well, you often hear teams say, of course, their first choice is to get a goal. And here we go again. I'm going to cut myself off. We've had so many penalties after the play, and here's another one. This is Anton Slepyshev with the slash. So Keegan Kanzig and his teammates will go on the power play. I can't count how many times tonight the play's been over and something happens, and these referees, their tolerance level right now for anything once the whistle is gone isn't really there. I was just finished my own thought regarding momentum. Puck's gone. There's Slepyshev. It gives him a little poke, and now he's in the penalty box.
The officials have been consistent, though. After the whistle stuff, they're going to ding you. And the Flames back to the power play with Slepyshev sitting in the penalty box. So, Calgary on the man advantage, trying to extend their lead back to 2 with Morrison at the point. Finds Carroll in behind the net. Fram and Morrison are manning the points right now. Karnikov out there at forward, as is this man. As a shot from Agostino just misses. Agostino, the forwards, one of the forwards, along with Austin Carroll and Pavel Karnikov. Carroll had it for a second, fell, wasn't able to do anything with it, and the Oilers will get the puck out to the neutral zone. Calgary turns it right back the other way. Here's Karnikov with Agostino and Carroll. Pass out in front, doesn't find anybody, does get back to the point now. Anderson off the bench, and now Agostino. Kulak's there for 2. Here's Anderson, right point, steps into a shot, fires it wide. Kept in on the boards there by Agostino. Kulak's got it again. Anderson's got some room. Fires again, low and hard. Nice pad stop from Paperny. Oilers gobble up the rebound, and Connor Rankin fires it down the ice.
Yeah, Paperny's night's been not up and down regarding his play, but up and down regarding shots. There's been stretches where he hasn't been busy at all, and sometimes too busy. But he's really settled in nicely for Edmonton and not giving up that quote-unquote next goal.
Flames will try to keep it in at the point, but Oilers push it back out to neutral ice. Sam Bennett has it for Calgary. He's being pestered there by Soy. Bennett still with it. Moves back a little bit, now across to Anderson. Bennett gets hit with a pass with speed in the neutral zone. Now Anderson at the point. He'll move off to his D partner, Kulak. They switch. Bennett across the ice. That pass is tipped, and now Soy will race to it. Back to it was Kulak, but Christopher's able to get to it. Christopher takes a shot through a screen, and it's stopped by Mason McDonald. The Flames goaltender will cover up. Just 3 seconds to go on this power play, and Slepyshev just about to step out of the box, and looks like a successful PK for the Oilers.
Well, we talked about Jerry Fleming, and Ryan Huska is the man who's running the bench on the part of the Calgary Flames. So one game in the NHL with Chicago, Kelowna assistant for 5 seasons, 7 and head coach. I mean, he's been around the game a lot, and he joked this morning that these teams will play 12 times. That's the AHL teams in Bakersfield and Stockton.
Yeah.
And they have a preseason game. And he once played Utica, which was last year, 14 times. He didn't like the record, though. They went 2-10, so he's hoping to improve that against his new rival in the AHL this year.
That was Ben Betker calling for that pass, just missed it as the Oilers still trying to equalize. Yeah, both the Oilers and Flames moving their AHL affiliates to California this year. Stockton for Calgary, Bakersfield for Edmonton. Bill Arnold looking for a Hunter Smith tip on that pass, just misses. The Oilers get it right back. Bakersfield, longtime ECHL outpost, as was Stockton, and plenty of support in both those towns. I think it's going to be really good seeing the American Hockey League being played in California.
Some people thought 8 times a season was too much for NHL teams. Now they're at 12, and throwing a preseason game or 2, that's a lot.
Bad angle shot from Anderson. Paperny kicked out the rebound, but nobody from the Flames is there for it. Christopher for Edmonton the other way. Tries to dance one, and he's able to draw a penalty. Nice job by Christopher to dance around Marcotte, and that draws a penalty, and the Oilers go back to the power play.
You know, in the second period, when Edmonton was moving their feet, well, like any team, when they're moving their feet and skating, they start to cause some problems for the opposition, and that was the case there for Marcotte against Christopher's. He just kept going, and then Marcotte just kind of ran into him. Wasn't a lot there, I might add. Maybe the puck had gone past him enough that they felt it was like an interference So Edmonton with another chance to get even.
And Braden Christopher stays out there on the power play. He drew the penalty and gets rewarded with some power play time. Christopher's a Sherwood Park product, and he's turning pro this year. He's done in the Western Hockey League, finished his career with Regina. Wide open look for him now in front, and he scores! I'm not sure how he got so wide open, but Braden Christopher has tied this game up. A power play goal for the Oilers. Make it 3-3.
I think Mason McDonald would like an answer to your question, because he was absolutely wide open. This isn't a 5-on-3 scenario. It was 5-on-4, and Christopher, who had the opening goal for Edmonton last night, now has another one for the Oilers. Greg Chase, who's had a strong second and third. There's that backhand pass again by Leon Draisaitl. I mean, from the corner, tape to tape. Fantastic. But yeah, Christopher should not be left that wide open. It looked like Kenny Agostino was potentially supposed to slide down and help get him, but credit the Oilers. They've continued to battle back all night, behind at 1.2-0, then 3-1. Now it's 3-3.
And I guess when you've got a backhand shot, a backhand pass like that, and maybe you're not expecting it to be so good on the Draisaitl front. So the Oilers have got momentum, and they've tied this game up. First time since it was scoreless that we've been tied. And the Oilers still with it. This is Soy from a bad angle. Goes off the side of the net. Christopher's still out there for Edmonton. The Sherwood Park products got it again. Christopher cuts out in front, finds a man in front, and Soy's shot is stopped by McDonald. So the Oilers come that close to taking their first lead. Flames the other way now. Lomberg from a bad angle. That's sort of the angle he scored from last night, his goal against the Winnipeg Jets. Is Edmonton's got it now through the neutral zone. Nurse is going for a change, so he'll flip it down behind the net, and McDonald's out to play it. Here's the Spokane Chiefs product, Jason Framp. Finds Kulak on the run. Now Karnikov into Edmonton territory. Betker back forward for Edmonton. He'll get to it. Now Platzer's got it. Platzer almost scored to tie it to end the second period. Now the Oilers have tied it, and they've got it back in their own end. Rankin takes a big hit from Van Brabant, keeps on going, but now Bryce Van Brabant's got the puck. Finds Karnikov. Top of the circle, takes a shot, glove save from Paperny, and he'll hold on. We've played 7 in this third period.
And a little more pushing and shoving going on in front of Jordan Paperny. Joey LaLeggia, there's Ben Betker and Brabant. Keegan Kanzik, who stepped in. I mean, Betker not much shorter than Kanzik, but quite a bit lighter. And Kanzik getting a chance to play this evening against the player he was traded for last year, Victoria and Calgary, working out a deal. Greg Chase going from the Hitmen to Victoria. Kanzik coming over and doing a great job in the Hitmen's turn in the playoffs. What a strong defenseman. And I mean, Van Brabant and so many of these Flames, if they can just get an opportunity to open up some eyes. Emile Poirier speaking today about the fact that, like so many of these young kids now, they get a chance to skate with NHLers. Talked about Cedric Paquette, as well as Jonathan Bernier, living in the Montreal area. No shortage of NHLers to spend some time with in the summer.
Quick note, remember the Flames playing with 5 defensemen right now because Ryan Culkin has left this game. Looked like a shoulder injury. He won't return. Now here the Oilers on a turnover. A quick shot by Lineker is stopped, and it's McDonald again making a stop with his mask. That's twice he's done that. His first big save was off the mask. Now another one. Here's Carroll for Calgary. Feeds in front. Had Mangiapane, but he was surrounded by a number of white jerseys. Now Winquist for the Oilers with numbers. Feeds across. Opportunity for Jones. All kinds of moves. But Mason McDonald stays with him. Nurse's shot off of an ankle and out to the neutral zone. How about that patience from Mason McDonald? This thing is getting a little loose on both ends here with 12 minutes to go in the third period. The Oilers are feeling it, though. Kulak for Calgary misses his man. Icing waved off, though. Paperny out of the play. And now Agostino behind the net for Calgary. Trying the wraparound was Mangiapane. He knocks a puck down and gets it towards the net. Nurse back for it. Off the end boards for Edmonton. Coming off the point is Kulak. Waltz cuts that off, but right back to Calgary's Kenny Agostino. goes across, misses his pass, and now the Oilers the other way. Nurse is up on it, and the Oilers have got numbers. Chase on net, cuts and just misses the post with that soft shot. Chase still looking for it. Kulak is all over him. Play continues. Chase's pass doesn't work. He's still got it. And now finally loses it. That was a bit of a broken play, but Chase tried his best to keep it going.
Between the goal and the "Let's Go Oilers" chant on the part of the crowd, the Edmonton Oilers seem energized, and their defensemen, even though the score is tied, continue to jump in the play. Nurse has done it. Jones had a good chance just a couple of minutes ago. They're really pushing here offensively.
Betker on the backhand, winds it around and finds Christopher for Edmonton. Now Bucharts will try to chip it out of his own zone. Soy will try it again. He can't. Betker couldn't knock that down in the midair. Christopher again with an opportunity to get it out. He will, but Calgary turns it right back the other way. 10.5 to go in this third period. We're tied, Oilers and Flames, at the Sport Chek Young Stars Classic in Penticton. Here's Soy with Bucharts with him. Soy tries to walk around a few. Instead, the puck gets away from him and kind of floats its way on Mason McDonald, and he'll, like us, kind of realize things need to be slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, well, Mason McDonald needs a breather because the play's been mostly in his end. There's Jones going, I don't know if that's short side or long side. I thought he was going to go to the backhand. And there's Greg Chase, who's really picked up his game. Either he or Draisaitl had an opportunity to give Edmonton the lead first time tonight if it had been the case.
So the Flames trying to settle things down a little bit because the Oilers have taken things over momentum-wise. Calgary with Poirier and Van Brabant bring it into Edmonton territory. Bennett's also on the ice for Calgary, but the Oilers have got it again. Rankin finds Sanford, and he gets to it in the left corner. Kanzig goes to him. Sanford got away, but Bennett, nice job defensively, comes back as the center iceman to cut it off. But the puck goes back to Edmonton as they bring it back into Calgary territory. Nice job there by Platzer, keeping it at the blue line. Edmonton continues to play with it. Rankin, half boards, he finds his man, Waugh, falls down, and Calgary gets it right back. Edmonton's coming close to some of these opportunities. Here's Bennett with Poirier. Sam Bennett circles back and finds Rasmus Anderson. Anderson and Bennett, the last two first picks of the Flames in 2014 and 15. Anderson's got it. Ooh. Nice slap pass to Mangiapane in front, but that's a heck of a save from Paperny to keep this game tied. Anderson spotted Mangiapane and almost gave the Flames the lead once again. 3-3 your score, less than half of a period to go from Penticton. Oilers and Flames at the Sport Chek Young Stars Classic.
Ask yourself, are you doing enough? Because right now, somebody else is doing more. They're pushing harder, putting in more hours. And it's starting to pay off. You may not know them, but they know you, and they're coming. So the next time you go down, will you stay down, make an excuse, let them have your spot? Will you pack it in, go do something else? Or will you get back up? And get to work.
Well, it certainly hasn't been an easy ticket for Edmonton Oilers fans to get with the arrival of Connor McDavid, who is not in the lineup tonight. Healthy scratch. I feel almost bad saying that, but he will play on Monday, is expected to, against the Winnipeg Jets. It'll even be a tougher ticket to get when the Edmonton Oilers kick off their training camp Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The first 3 days they will be in Leduc. Now, if you want to go out and watch all the Oilers, you have to enter for your chance to win a non-transferable pass for you and a guest to attend the beginning of Edmonton Oilers training camp. To have that opportunity, go to oilers.nhl.com/training camp draw, and you might be one of the lucky ones. Hundreds available for each day, so you've got a pretty good shot. And I think if Jordan Paperny, when he was growing up, had a shot, he would have been one of those to to line up as well. But I think he's open to go to main camp and actually be on the ice and not sitting in the stands watching the Oilers skate as they kick off their camp, and they'll also play the U of A before that, and Calgary as well involved against the Dinos.
I think there's a little bit of excitement in both cities. An opportunity for Arnold in front, loose puck. Still battling for it, and Paperny's trying to find it. Everybody's lost sight of the puck. Paperny's down, and now everybody's throwing gloves.
Oh, and punches.
And punches now. So we lost sight of the puck. I think everybody else did, so instead of looking for the puck, you can look for a face to punch.
Rasmus Andersson going with Darnell Nurse. I'm not sure the Oilers and/or Andersson want to be involved in this. Well, Nurse absolutely feeding him with right hands, and it's over early.
And that is a fired up Darnell Nurse as he takes a seat in the penalty box. Rasmus Andersson not as schooled in the art of fighting as the other gentleman.
Well, no, and Rasmus Andersson saying coming into camp that he wants to be hated, and he was kind of getting under the skin of Darnell Nurse. I would assume he would know who Nurse is, and that Nurse does have a little more experience in that area, but give Andersson credit that he did force the Oilers captain to get into that scrap, and it was just all over the place out front. I mean, how many players have you got there in the crease? What, 5, 6, 7, everybody involved, and it just leads to more and more. And finally, Darnell Nurse, who last night tried to get involved with Jake Virtanen. So I give Andersson credit, is that he stood up to Nurse and said, you want to go? Let's go. From there, it was whoa, because Andersson didn't throw a punch, and Nurse threw a bunch of them, and there's the TKO. Over and out.
Darnell Nurse and Rasmus Andersson, both Ontario Hockey League products. Sault Ste. Marie for that gentleman. And Andersson, a member of the Barrie Colts last year. And they renew acquaintances here in Penticton. It got quite the reaction from the Oilers faithful here in Penticton, that's for sure.
Well, Andersson appears okay. I don't think he needs to see a doctor. He's already seen a nurse. And that didn't go so well.
Touché. 8:59 to go here in the third period.
We do what we can.
What I look forward to. I circle it on my calendar. The one day of the year I get to work with Gene Principe.
Oh, it's been a great night. Very entertaining game. Great crowd. Enjoy working with you. Of course, on your radio show at times, we kind of work together, but not really.
We get to see each other like 4 times a year.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
It's good. So everything's sorted out. No instigator penalties. Andersson and Nurse will sit down for 5. We're still tied 3-3 with just under 9 minutes to go in this Young Stars Classic game. It's turned into a pretty solid tilt in this Prospects edition of the Battle of Alberta. Oilers have scored to tie it, erasing a 3-1 lead. They're looking for their first lead of this game. They've had the opportunity to take that lead. The Flames have had a couple of opportunities to regain their lead themselves. McDonald tries to clear. Draisaitl is leveled by Hunter Smith, and the Flames work it the other way. Taylor Burke and Brett Kulak in on it as they go in behind the net. Kulak looks back to the point. Now an opportunity for Draisaitl. He walks his man. Draisaitl back, he's taken down, and we have got another penalty shot. Back and forth we go, and Leon Draisaitl had a clean shot towards the net. Look at the irony here. The gentleman who got the penalty shot last night is Ryan Lomberg, and he's caused the penalty shot tonight.
Well, in the old days, if you got the puck first, which he does, almost simultaneous with Draisaitl, I think that would be okay. But now in the new NHL, the way that is called, you get the puck, but you also get him, and it's a penalty. Not only a penalty, but a penalty shot. So Lomberg, who didn't score last night, hopes that Leon Draisaitl doesn't score tonight.
The most exciting play in hockey for the second straight night. Draisaitl for the lead, scores! A penalty shot goal for Leon Draisaitl, and the Oilers lead for the first time tonight.
Oh, the only thing cooler than that is a February night in Edmonton. Wow, what a play by Draisaitl. It looked like it was July and he was just hanging out with some buddies. Oh, I'll tell you what. You know, we talked about Nurse, Connor McDavid not in the lineup tonight, so Leon getting more of an opportunity. And I'm not sure if, it doesn't matter if you're an Oilers fan, Flames fan, or any fan, he handled that penalty shot about as good as you can. And so lead for Edmonton in a back and forth thriller.
So the Flames had a 3-1 lead. The Oilers have turned it around to a 4-3 advantage with 8 minutes to go in this third period. Calgary trying to get that tie game right back to where they wanted. As Agostino had an opportunity, his shot went just a little wide, so the Oilers back on it. It's been an exciting finish and an exciting night here at the South Okanagan Event Center. Marcotte just missed that pass. That would have been an odd man situation for Calgary, but icing instead with a face-off now back to the other end.
Well, what a night it has been on the part of the old Battle of Alberta. And we've seen some battling. We saw a fight. We've seen goals, physical play, great opportunities, at times great goaltending. Entertainment value, 9 out of 10 with 7:41 still to go.
Still looking for our first overtime game of this Young Stars Classic. Thought we might have it between the Jets and the Flames yesterday, but ended up being a regulation game. The Oilers trying to extend their lead here. Sanford and now Jones. Platzer's got it on the left side, half boards. Sanford to chase, almost had Rankin out in front with a good opportunity. Flames will chip and get it out to neutral ice, and Oilers have got to go back and chase in their own end.
And just in case Calgary does score to make it 4-4, it is the 3-on-3 format. In case people are wondering if they would do that in the Young Stars tournament, they will do that if necessary.
Flames have got to score to tie it first, though, and the Oilers will do everything in their power to make sure we don't see 3-on-3 once again. This is Betker, big defenseman for the Oilers, spins away and finds Colton Waltz. Now Winquist, he opened the scoring for the Oilers tonight. Now Waltz again, passes center, gets it a little deeper into Flames territory as the Oilers will make some changes. Here's Kenny Morrison. Passes to Kulak with a burst of speed. Kulak and Van Brabant will knife it into Edmonton territory. Malesia and Waltz back for it. Waltz will move it to Marco Waugh. He couldn't find his man though, and Van Brabant's able to keep it in. Back into the corner. Arnold. So it was Burke who came in with that big hit. Waltz now behind his own net. He's tracked down. And there's an opportunity for Mangiapane. Just skipped off his stick. Flames still keep it in as they keep the pressure on, trying to find the equalizer with 6 minutes to go. Lineker back in behind the Calgary net. Fram there for the Flames. His backhander misses, and now an opportunity for Slepyshev. Kind of took a hop over his stick too, and so the Flames will get it back out to neutral ice. Carroll's got it with speed. He's got Fram with them. Fram keeps it onside, but no scoring opportunity comes yet. Carroll in behind the net, loses the puck. Slepyshev couldn't handle, almost squirted loose to Carroll in front once again, but the Oilers will bring it back in. Here's Chase.
Well, the Oilers defensemen have been moving up all night. Now Calgary defensemen are starting to do it as well, just to try and get that tying goal.
Carroll cut off a pass and looked for a scoring opportunity. Fram couldn't keep at the point, and that gives the Oilers a chance to get it back deep. Draisaitl put it in. Just over 5 to go now. Lomberg with the long pass reception. Backhands it a little deeper into Edmonton territory. Not deep enough though. Now Marcotte will try and get it deep. Flames looking for this equalizer here in Penticton. Marcotte up on the play, trying to cause a turnover. He's still on it. Karnikov comes in as well. Off the point comes Morrison to keep it in. Calgary continuing to apply the pressure here. Lomberg. All that pressure though leads to some odd man rushes, and we've got one now. Christopher tried to feed it through, but a nice job by the one defenseman back for Calgary to make sure that that didn't turn into a scoring opportunity.
Excellent job. 3-on-1, and you don't even really get a sniff towards the net. We'll see if that makes a difference with just under 5 minutes to play, and if that turns out to be something that helps Calgary get back in this game and tie it up.
Betker didn't have anyone to pass to, and so he was swarmed eventually by a number of Flames, and as Agostino touches it, whistled down on the offside, and that'll give us a face-off just outside the blue line.
You know, sometimes we forget how young these players are. Kenny Agostino telling you this morning that he was a big Rangers fan, and that he still has a photo of, or a poster of Mark Messier on his wall. He met Messier and got him to sign a roller hockey puck. I didn't know those still existed. But he still has the puck. He's got the poster on the wall, and lots of great memories of being such a great New York Rangers fan. In fact, he said he's watched the New York Rangers run to the Cup in '94 when he was only 2 years old on many occasions.
Roller pucks are the ones with the wheels in them. Is that the ones they are? Oilers will try and extend their lead a little bit. There's a shot from the right side boards from LaLeggia. This is really starting to open up. The Flames are pressing hard for this equalizer, and the Oilers are probably going to have some odd man chances because of it. 4-3, 3.5 to go here in the third period. It's the Sport Check Young Stars Classic. Pat Steinberg and Gene Principe along with you from Penticton. It's been a heck of a night on this Battle of Alberta Saturday. Van Brabant for the Flames, can't get it deep, so Oilers will repel him and put him back, and the Flames back out to the neutral zone. Now Lineker for Edmonton. From the circle, goes in behind the net. Lineker still has it. This is Winquist with a goal already. Looks to keep the cycle going. He shoveled looking for Waugh, but he wasn't there. Betker thought about stepping up on that puck, but decides not to. Now he does. Edmonton still with it. Less than 3 to go here.
Two good decisions by Ben Betker within about 3 seconds there. Made a potentially dangerous situation nice and calm, cool, and collected to keep him out of trouble.
Turnover in the neutral zone. Fram down the right side boards, had a look and had some open space too, and just put that backhander wide. Flames still on it. Mangiapane, now Carroll. Fram goes towards the front of the net, looking to get open. Now an opportunity for Arnold, had an open look but couldn't score. Flames can't keep it in. They still have possession though. Kulak ahead to Arnold, the Boston College product. Got it in for a second. Oilers knock it right back out. Draisaitl and Co are out there trying to repel this last-minute push from the Flames. Long pass to Greg Chase down the right side boards. He's got a man and he's robbed by Mason McDonald's right pad. Nice burst of speed from Greg Chase. Better save from Mason McDonald, and now an icing call on Calgary.
Well, Mason McDonald is listed at 6'2". If he was 6'1", I think Greg Chase would have scored there. I mean, it literally was an opportunity in a game of inches. As Chase, strong play, and there it is. Just gets a piece of the skate and the top end of the pad. So Mason McDonald making that stop when necessary. 29 shots for Calgary. That was the 30th for Edmonton in a real wide open affair.
So the Oilers now have the shot edge, and there's their 31st with Rankin from a bad angle. There was a little while there in the first period where the Flames had a very, very decided shot advantage. Now the Oilers lead by 2.
And to play off of that, Pat, if I remember correctly, it was 19-9 at one point. So Calgary with only 10 shots. I bet you he enjoyed the New York Rangers run as well in 1994. So only 10 shots while the Oilers have had 22. Things changed after that first intermission.
They
Edmonton
did.
really picked up their game.
Yeah, the Oilers have come to play in the final 38 minutes or so, approaching the end of this game. Minute 40 to go. Flames trying to equalize. Oilers are trying to hold on in what's been a very entertaining Battle of Alberta in BC. Here's Morrison. Karnikov out front. Lomberg's got a shot, and his shot is stopped by Paperny. So Lomberg, who was the one who caused the penalty shot, tried to equalize, and more rough stuff.
I'm not sure Darnell Nurse, well, it's 2-on-1 right now. Hunter Smith coming in second after Nurse was involved in the corner there with
the other player.
Karnikov.
Yeah.
These two would certainly know each other from the Ontario Hockey League. And Hunter Smith, just to clarify, he wasn't going in trying to stir it up. He just was trying to help out a teammate to try and calm things down. This is the second time that we've seen all this. Last time it turned into a Nurse Rasmussen fight. This time it turns into everybody somewhat calming down here with 1:25 left in the game. Paperny, though, what a stop right there. Left pad, kicks it out, and then some cross checks and some pushing and shoving and a little more grappling out front of Paperny as Lomberg had, well, the best chance in the last little while on the part of the Calgary Flames. And after what happened for him to create what's now the lead goal by Leon Draisaitl, I'm sure he would have loved to tie it up late in this game.
The byproduct of that little fracas in front of Paperny is that not an offensive zone faceoff for the Flames. It comes outside the Oilers zone, so a neutral zone draw with $1:25 to go here in period number 3. The net is empty for the Flames as they look for the equalizer, and here's an opportunity for Winquist to seal this game. He just puts it wide, so life exists still for the Flames. Now Winquist is able to score, and the Oilers have their biggest lead of the game. Winquist gets his second of the night, and it looks like the comeback is complete and sealed for Edmonton. Make it 5-3 with 74 seconds to go.
He just put the win in Winquist and the Edmonton Oilers, because that will finish it off. In fact, Edmonton had like 3 glorious scoring opportunities. There's the first one by Winquist. There was another block just outside the blue line, and I'm gonna have to see which Edmonton Oiler kept that puck alive. Is that, just trying to see who that was that allowed Winquist to have the opportunity. He slapped it out front, and it was Braden Christopher, who's had a really strong night. Second effort, kept the puck alive, and even though he was outmanned 2-1, he got the puck, and Edmonton gets the goal.
So the Flames will try and finish strong. They'll be frustrated to give up a 2-0 and then 3-1 lead, and now it's a 5-3 deficit. Less than 50 to go now as Calgary takes a shot from the sideboards. Paperny makes another stop. McDonald is in his net this time, so we're playing 5-on-5 once again with 42.6 to go.
2 things I've been impressed by on the part of the Flames. The one thing I like, they've been crowding Jordan Paperny all night. Whether it's a forward or a defenseman, they've really crashed the crease. In turn, I've been impressed by Paperny, who's had to deal with a lot of traffic and scrums and just jostling and movement in and around his goalie crease. And he's done a fantastic job of working his way around the screens, the bodies, being able to see the puck and stop the puck on this late charge by Calgary.
A timeout called by the Flames. They've got just a few seconds left to try and diagram something. There's Dominic Pittis,
former member of the Edmonton Oilers.
Absolutely, and now the skills and assistant coach with the Flames, so he's diagramming something with the Flames forwards and group, trying to see if they can get something called in here.
You know, we talk about players and their development. Dominic saying that he's now going to be an assistant coach with Stockton, so he's continuing to develop his career. We saw Jerry Fleming. He's doing the same thing after years of being an assistant coach in the Edmonton Oilers system. He's bumped up to head coach, so there's lots of people working on their game, whether it's on the ice or on the bench.
Yeah, Dominic Pittis started as a skills coach with the Flames, and there's a one-time opportunity for Poirier that just missed, and now Pittis off to the American League as an assistant. Kulak on the blue line. He's got Anderson with him. The net is empty again. Kulak from the point. Shot stopped by Paperny. Give Paperny a lot of credit. He was solid throughout and kept this game in reach, and the Oilers then did the rest in front of him. Less than 20 to go. Oilers get the puck out, and Kulak will have to regroup in the neutral zone. Maybe one more opportunity for Calgary to get back within one, or an opportunity here for the Oilers to make this a 3-goal lead. That's exactly what they'll do as Connor Rankin goes the length of the ice. And the final score tonight is going to end up 6-3 Edmonton with a couple of empty net goals. The former Calgary Hitmen standout and Tri-City American product, Connor Rankin, finishes this game off.
Well, Edmonton with 8 goals last night against the Vancouver Canucks, 6 this evening. Of course, that's a bit deceiving considering that 2 have been empty net markers, but the Oilers worked so hard to get themselves back in this hockey game and now have won it.
So a very impressive comeback for the Edmonton Oilers. 5 unanswered goals turn a 3-1 deficit into a 6-3 victory, and the Oilers are unbeaten at the 2015 Young Stars Classic. They've scored 14 goals in the process.
And credit to Brandon Weeking, Jordan Paperny. You talked about his goaltending. It was 3-1. Edmonton didn't have a lot going, and it looked like they might be in trouble, but that old next goal that we discussed earlier on didn't get past him, chipped away 3-2. 3-3. Leon Draisaitl with a beauty of a penalty shot goal made it 4-3. Had a couple of empty netters. Is this this 1985? The Oilers scoring goals at this rate? What's going on?
Well, if all the rough stuff that happened too, hopefully it's a reprise of the meaningful Battle of Alberta, because it's been a while since it's meant a whole lot too. So with the way that these two teams are trending, you hope that's exactly what's on tap, and this one was pretty heated tonight. Just 3 more games to go, Gino, here at the 2015 Young Stars Classic. 1 game tomorrow. It's a little bit of a earlier afternoon start, rather, with Vancouver and Winnipeg. And then Monday closes it out. Edmonton, Winnipeg, and the Canucks and Flames will close out the tournament. Remember, all those times listed are Pacific. So, add an hour if you're watching in Alberta, and a couple hours if you're watching in Manitoba. It's been fun so far. We're halfway done already.
You know what, I would agree. This tournament has always been a good one, but I would say after the amount of games we've seen to this point, it's been even better. Entertaining, athletic. We've seen all kinds of dynamics, some great goals, saves, so on and so forth. And it was a pleasure to work with you and a pleasure to do a Battle of Alberta. It doesn't matter what month of the year it is.
For our crew, for Gene Principe, my name is Pat Steinberg, Darnell Nurse, Leon Draisaitl, and the Oilers victorious 6-3 your final.
Excellent. That was great.